All right.
All right.
So just to let you know, I was originally also thinking about doing this like in the news,
Right.
but instead this might just be a bonus episode, and like we might also have the news this week. I don't know yet. I haven't figured out my life, but we're
Okay.
gonna do this. So,
Um,
we were going to talk about Tales of Arise because me and Neil have played it, and it's very. We never have a game that comes out where all of us, or like at least two of us, have played it. Because normally when a game comes out, I'll just play it, and then
yeah.
we'll do that. But this time we have two people because this game was really exciting.
Yes. It's very, very exciting. Like,
Just to give away our thoughts on it, because I don't think either one of us are going to talk too negatively.
I doubt it. Okay, but before we talk about Tales of Rise, I think it's a good idea. Let's talk about our history with Tales of in general. Like, what games have you played so far? What are your thoughts on those?
Whoa. So
Yeah.
I've played Tales of Berseria and Tales of
Ves- Ves-
Vesperia.
Yes. Yes.
Vesperia was
You
my
got it.
first game, and I really liked Vesperia.
Wait, I thought you played Berseria first.
No. Well, yeah,
Huh.
technically, yes, I played
All
Berseria
right. Cause
first.
that's right. Because it was. That's
It
right.
was the failed versus recording that we did.
Yes. Yes.
But I know I played Vesperia first. I really liked it. Like, like maybe not gameplay wise, but I really liked the story of it because gameplay it was interesting, to say the
Yeah.
least. Um, and Berseria, I liked the gameplay more. Uh, than I guess the story, or yeah, or I liked the
Interesting.
gameplay and I don't know how to put it. Like I liked the story. I definitely liked the gameplay better in Berseria than Vesperia, but
Yeah. Easily.
I loved the Vesperia story, but I liked the Berseria story and
Interesting.
like
What about
fell in love with it.
cast? Which cast did you like more?
In all three of them, or just those two?
For now, between those two, and then if you like Arise more when we get to Arise, we'll like
Vesperia,
you could
like
say.
all the way,
Oh,
definitely the
nice, nice,
cast. I
nice.
I just love that cast of characters, which I think helps with the story a bit more for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, people in general like the people's favorite thing about Vesperia is the cast, so
It
that makes
is.
sense. That makes sense.
Um, yeah, it definitely just like help. It just helps it for me personally.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So what games have you played?
Okay, so I have played a few. I've played Tales of Symphonia, and its sequel, Dawn of the New World, Tales of Graces, Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Berseria, Tales of Zestria, Tales of Exilia 1 and 2, and then, yeah. So that's it, other than Arise. Yeah, that's it.
Now 10.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to go through all of them, but my favorite is Tales of Exilia out of those. I pretty much the two recent games like I played is Zestiria and then Berseria. I know you haven't played Zestiria. I think we both agree. I'm like I know you liked Vesperia a lot. I wasn't huge in it. I haven't beaten the game, but Vesperia is a great game. I think it's very good. It's definitely better than the one before that. So they kind of got back on the right track. So yeah. So
I
again, we both yeah. So all right. I think we could move on then.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's going on?
I have a list of them. Is Grace's good? Cuz like I've heard things about like Grace is kind of like mixed.
Racist combat is pretty great overall. It's one of the best. If most people say it's the best. In fact, like I think when they were doing like the anniversary polls, it won like in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's loved for its gameplay. Its story is just not very good. It's not very good at all. It's
What is Grace's on? Cuz I might have to add it to my list.
the PlayStation 3 and the Nintendo Wii, but the PS3 version is like an updated version of the Wii version. It's like it's a definitive version of the game. So if you do want to play it, I do have a PlayStation 3 in the game, so you always have that option. It's a
Yeah,
fun game.
when
But,
Jack finishes Xenogears, sure.
right, whenever he finishes years.
He's never finishing that.
Uh, hopefully he finishes it eventually. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
cause I might add it to my list because I want to play Zillia last. Cause I told you my list. I'll tell them my list. Zestria, because I know Berseria is the prequel,
Prequel. Yes, correct.
so I
Prequel.
kind of wanted to see like what it's about and
Yeah. Sorry about
that
that, I
type
guess.
of thing. I might cry
Yeah. I'm so
because you
I'll
know, like I did with Skyward Sword, because when I played it, I was like, "What did you do to my child?" And then Symphonia, and I guess its sequel, then Graces, then Zillia 1 and 2.
nice. Yeah. A good thing about Symphonia is that it is on PC.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's good.
Yep.
I'm pretty.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about Arise. So first of all,
Yeah.
I just want to talk about how good it looks. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably do some like low key type of like screenshots here and there, or like
Oh, nice,
gameplay or whatever. But Jesus Christ, does this game look good?
dude. It looks so good. They definitely put Unreal Engine to good use. Um, and like, dude, the art style especially. Like, I love how everything like looks like painted. It looks so nice. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks so good. Oh,
Oh my god, dude. It's just like there are games that look really good because they look like so realistic. And there are games that look so trash because they also try to look so realistic. And I
yeah.
think this is just such a good blend of like it looks so good just because like I feel like there is like some sort of like I like to me like for once in a Tales of game, like the characters just look so like proportionate. Finally, because like they always went through this like cartoony thing, which I think worked for
What?
like which I think worked like in the earlier games, but in Berseria they tried to do a mix, which I don't really like that much.
That's interesting. But that's interesting because the character designer for Arise is the same person for Zestiria and
No,
Berseria. It's the same
no,
guy.
yeah,
It's all
no,
three.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's just that like in the new updated engine, I just love the style of the characters, the style of the setting, just a bit more than it's like why I like I guess Cold Steel 4 and Cold Steel 3's like look to it than 1 and 2.
I get you. I get you. I get you. All right, I got it. I got it.
Cuz
Yep,
it just
I
yeah.
understand. Yeah. I understand.
Okay. Um and not only that, I think it has one of the best gameplay styles as well.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. I think I have like some like minor like grievances with it, but that's pretty much it. It's really good.
Yeah. Like I agree with you. The button is a bit iffy because like even not in just RPGs, like the attack button isn't like R1, it's something else.
Yeah, and it's just, okay because they use one of the face buttons for a jump button, but I don't know about you, but I did not jump a single time, or like I barely ever felt the need to jump. Like it's very rare. Like you have arts that can send you up in the air. It's like why are you doing this?
Especially
It's
when
like
you just play as Alphen.
yeah, especially when you play just Dolphin. Yeah, full disclosure, I only played as Dolphin.
Oh,
Um,
same.
yeah,
Okay,
but
wait. Oh, wait. Never mind. There was the one mission where you're forced to play as just
right,
Kisara.
yes, yeah, the one side quest, yeah. Um, Also, kind of thing that kind of annoyed me is like so when there's a lot of enemies on the field, and like you're trying to swing at the enemy you're locked onto, like if Alphen even touches a different enemy, it'll automatically lock on to the new enemy, and that can get very frustrating when you're trying to just attack the one guy, and then you're like switch, and then you switch back, and then another thing is that the AI in this game, it's not bad. It's definitely not my favorite AI, but it's pretty solid. The only thing that annoys me is that in previous games, the AI would almost always just focus on the enemy you're fighting, and if they didn't, you could set them to do that. So if they didn't do it automatically, you could tell them to do that.
Yeah.
But in this game, they don't. So you're fighting one guy all by yourself, and everyone else is over there. And then you're like, okay, I want to fight him, but I guess you gotta switch over there. It's like, what are we doing here? And that's honestly it in terms of gameplay. Other than that, it's good. It's real good.
It didn't annoy me that much because honestly, like, I don't know what you would call it. I'm gonna use a Kiseki term, break. You were able to break them on your own, if
Yeah,
like
you
get
are.
your Alphen very easily, and not only that, but like eventually a teammate might notice you, and like so I found it at least like a teammate might notice you, so they could help. Like every
Yeah,
now and again, I noticed Kisara would help me a lot.
I agree. Like for example, Law, like he would do that, but like he was only after like getting the other enemy to half health. It's like if we had all just focused, like the fight would be more. It's like
Oh
I
yeah,
because in the beginning I wasn't bothering to switch. I was like, let them fight whoever they want. I'll do it myself. But then over time, I decided to do that because the speed at which fights end is just it's so much faster if you just focus on one ending at a time. Like if you try to split you and then everyone else, it takes longer. It's like it's definitely you're totally fine. Like it's not super noticeable, but it can get
yeah.
annoying. Like especially later in the game when you're like the enemies have more HP, so you need those finishing the like the one hit KO like finishers or whatever. What are they called? Boost strike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the reason I didn't care that much was I guess like I just focused on the other parts of like the gameplay, which were I really liked I really liked the fact that like I guess Mystic, I guess you would call them
Mystic
Mystic
Arts.
arts.
Yeah, they're
Like
called
they
Mystic
were
Arts.
Mystic arts before, I guess they're astral arts or whatever. I don't really know what they are now.
No,
Like the
they're called.
bar. I liked the bar. I guess it is, was it the
Oh,
length bar?
I get you. The over limit, over limit.
I liked the
Um,
over limit a lot more than like what was in previous games.
I actually kind of disagree with that because what I don't like. Okay, by the way, I've been like complaining a bit here, but I do love this battle system. But it's like you can't actively like do it as much because it's like it says like oh you just dodge, but it's like you can't. Sometimes it's hard to. It's like you can't dodge. Like there's no other way other than that. It's take damage, and it's like that's not in my control. Like I gotta sit here and take damage. It's like no, like I in other games it's usually a bar or like a something that would
Yeah.
build up that would then let you go into over limit. In this game, you don't have any of that kind of control. You just kind of have to just hope that you get it, and then like, oh cool, now I can do my instinct card. Like
I
that's a
think
little.
it's like yeah, like I think it's good like sometimes to have that control, but like in this case, I was so focused on dealing with so many like the other stuff that like became a convenience for me to like not have to worry about that like
Uh,
thing, and
yeah,
especially at
yeah,
the
yeah.
end, it got filled up like so much,
Be
at
very
least
fast,
for
very
me,
big.
because of the
Because the
skill
enemy,
panel.
yes, the skill panel and also enemies do a lot of damage as well. So in like 2 hits, you suddenly have over limit sometimes.
Yeah.
So that was no, I totally agree with you. It didn't really bother me too much, but I wasn't in love with that way. Like I probably play for it in older games, but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely don't mind it or anything. It's just like well. But like
Um
gameplay, like the combos are really easy to like, really fun and
mm,
like simple to do. Like you could string, and it's like it's very much like kind of just create your own shit for the most part. It was really that, which is really fun, and it wasn't like you didn't have to sit. I mean, like okay, it sounds bad, but like it wasn't as complicated as like even some other older games. So
yep.
I liked it. It was really fun. Not that they're really that complicated
I
still,
think it's
but
definitely
it's
a
really fun.
really it was definitely really what I think is good about it is that the like I don't want to call it simplicity of it, but it might be like
Streamlined. I
more
think it's more streamlined.
streamlined.
Yeah. It,
That I think is good. A more streamlined thing, whereas I think it will like this style of gameplay could attract a lot more like newer people to like play it, just because like it's not as complicated as I feel like some of the other games were.
and like a great thing too that like all Tales of games are like combo focused. Like they're all essentially fighting games in that aspect. But
Yeah.
like this one just felt so like like it felt like just everything worked. Like,
Yeah.
the only like, oh, well, this doesn't like this move is kind of awkward, but like when you look at your art list, it's like, oh, everything here, it's you don't have like 20 different arts, but you have just the right amount with right enough of like variety where it's like everything works together. And I think
You know,
that's just awesome. They did a really good job with it. Really, really good job.
I would like to say, because you brought it up,
Hmm.
please make a Tales of Fighting game, just like cross over all of them.
Oh my god,
Arxis,
that would
get
be
on it.
hard to believe.
I think it would be like really cool. The other thing I want to touch on about gameplay, because like gameplay, like combat and stuff, like maybe we'll talk about like the other parts of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I loved the animations for every single one of the combo moves,
Oh, you mean
and
the boost strike?
yeah, the
Like with
boost, yeah,
the other party members, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
and
love boost strike.
and I loved all of the animations of like the mystic arts and like the stuff that you get like once you befriend everybody like 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I
second Mystic Heart.
loved all of those, and like
Yeah.
I guess spoiler alert here. Alphin's final, like I won't say like what it is just yet. Alphin's final one, I
It's
really
very
liked.
cool. It's very cool. I wish the PS4 could run it better, but oh my! It's the only move in the game where it's suddenly the game decides I'm gonna be a slideshow. I know it's the only move. But anyway.
I love that for you, but I also hate that for you.
I was
Like
like,
I
go
think
ahead,
it's
go ahead.
just like it's just so interesting to me to see like the differences between like generations, because I wasn't as into video like as into like the generational stuff like back
Generation.
then as I am now.
Oh, you mean like between?
Cuz like when
What
we
do
were
you
going from
What do you
like
mean?
like the 360 to like the Xbox One, I never had an Xbox One, and by the time that I got a PS5, a PS4, or like a newer console, it was like 5 years later. Now I have a PS5, and it's very apparent to me the changes, and I think this is the first instance that you're seeing, so I think it's just very interesting to me. Cause I'll talk about like loading times and how I just love the fact that there's like less of it, and like whatever. But like it's just very interesting to hear that like some of the game can't like run.
Yeah, honestly, that's the only part. Like, there's a tiny bit of pop in every now and then, but it's not common. That is the
Yeah.
only move. That's the only instance in the entire game where it's lagging painfully, painfully. I was like, I'm so excited to see this move, and I'm like, slideshow, hell yeah! Yeah, I'm gonna watch it on
um.
YouTube now.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite Mystic art? We'll go with that.
Alpha second one easily, easily.
Alphin's second one. I
Yeah,
love Alphin's second one. Um, I liked Rinwell's,
yeah, it's really cool. Renewals is
um,
really really sick.
and I love Shion's second one.
Yeah,
That was one of
it's
my
very
favorites. I don't like, because I saw it so much, so like I kind of have an idea of it. I don't like Hisara's that much. It's kind
yeah.
of
It's especially her first one, lame as hell.
oh
Her
yeah.
second one's better, but like it's not
I haven't
my
seen her second one. Dolameen's second. I haven't seen. The only second ones I've seen are Alpha and Shion's. The other
Oh,
ones I
okay.
didn't because they never activated for me. So
Yeah, I just went on YouTube and watched them, honestly,
yeah,
because no one else does it except for me. Like the second one, like you never see it because it's kind of hard to do.
yeah, and I like Shion, both of Shion's anyways,
Yeah,
because
they're
I
both
just
great.
love the floating bullets.
Dude,
Uh,
like
that
yeah,
one was cool.
I
But
agree.
you go.
It's so cool. I don't know. I'll wait till because I was gonna ask actually, what was your favorite boost strike?
I love Dolameen's and Rinwell's.
Oh,
The
yeah, 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 yeah. What's it called?
That's what you're
I
talking about,
forgot.
right?
Yeah, the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when
I
they when like Radiant Genesis.
Yeah, and then it's so cool. It looks so sick.
I
Uh,
really like I think for me I also like Hisaran Laws, where it's just like I'll stop your movement and I'll stop
yeah,
your
I'll
life. Like
stop.
I like the
It's
saying
so
of it. The
cool.
look of it isn't as
Yeah,
cool, but like
I agree.
just like them in
I agree.
unison, it was really cool.
Have you seen Law and Dohaleem's? Have you seen
I don't think I
theirs?
have actually.
It's so cool. It is so sick. No, like, yeah, Law, I'll be real with you, has the best one. Like,
He
he
does.
never misses. I think the only one of his that's okay is Rinwell's. And I'm gonna be honest, that's because of Rinwell. All of hers are kind of lame. Like, Dohaleem's is the only one where I'm like, that one looks cool. The rest
The
of them,
only reason I
oh,
like
and Alphen.
Rinwell's,
Alphen's,
yeah, the only reason I like Rinwell's is because they deal a lot. Hers are like the most that deal AOE like
yeah,
damage.
yeah, yeah.
So like the frozen hammer will deal a lot of damage, or like AOE. I don't remember the one with her and Alphen. I think it's Supreme Altar.
Yeah,
Could
that
be
one looks
wrong.
sick, actually.
It's
That's my
so
favorite
cool.
Rinwell one. That one's so cool.
There
For Dom.
was Radiant Genesis does like just all of them kind of just do a lot of damage. I guess other or like AOE damage. So like if you're focusing on an enemy and that enemy dies and they were close to another enemy, it will deal damage to that enemy or that enemy that's still there, which I really like.
Right. Yes.
And like my thing is like I hope that they keep like the boost strikes like in for the next game.
Uh, Hopefully, they've never carried over gameplay mechanics like that, like
Yeah.
ever. So I'm not
Cause
hopeful, but it would be cool.
just because like I don't know like I just like really liked like a lot of this, and I would like to keep like the positive things like from this like over there, and I think this is just one of the positive things like to
Yeah, dude.
bring over. It's like when you had I'm sorry to cut you off, when you had the crossbell arc and you had like the combo moves and they weren't in Cold Steel. I was just so like I was devastated.
Yeah, the combination crafts, they just like got rid of
They
them.
hit different.
Yeah, they honestly do. I'll be real. I didn't use that much, but they were good. They were cool. It would have been
Oh
so
yeah,
cool to imagine that in like you know what's but like they do try to like spiritually like connect that,
they do.
like link attack, and then if I don't know if you can Kudo, I won't say anything about Kudo, but never mind. Yeah. Anyway, let's just back to this.
Some of us aren't gonna be playing it in 6 months, Neil.
Okay, no, no one is stopping you. You could totally play it.
No,
Just play how
I
fun.
have so many games coming out in 2022. I can't spend my money on
You don't
it.
have to. I'll give you the copy after I'm done.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
So other than that, I liked. I guess gameplay would skits be considered under gameplay?
I say that's story.
Okay, that's under story.
Yeah.
Um.
Side quests. The side quests were great. I thought.
Okay, yeah, I can agree. I thought all of the side quests were really good. My favorite one was the food one, just because they were goofy as all hell.
Which one? Oh, you mean
The
yeah,
just the
yeah, yeah,
long
yeah,
running
yeah, yeah,
quest
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
food.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree. That one was great.
Because it reminded
Uh,
me of like a Yakuza side quest because it was
yeah.
so goofy.
Here's what I will say. None of the other Tales of games have quests this good. Not a single one. And not even
I
close.
can I can I can attest to that because I've done
They're
the
all
side quest in them. Not as
they're all
good.
bad. They're all bad. Like they're the bare minimum. They're stupid. They're not good. But in this game, I actually did. This is the first time I've done side quests in Tales of games. Like they were so good, so good.
I I agree,
Uh,
and like they give like a lot of character stuff. Like one of my favorite ones was the wedding,
yes. Oh my god, I love that one. That was
and
so
Alvin
funny.
and
He's
Alvin
like,
is
I made this for you. Oh.
it's
Uh,
so funny because it's just like all alone. Like she was just like I'm alone, all alone, and then Alvin's just like. Oh no, because the girls are just like Alvin, do something, and he's just like Shia. It's just like so
oh,
funny.
dude, I love him so much. Like, dude, he's great. He is so funny.
I think, and you could tell me I'm wrong or not. I think this cast of characters might be one of the best.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely one of the best. They're
I'm not
up
gonna
there
say
for me.
the best, because
They're like in the upper percentile for sure.
I don't know how I would compare them to Vesperias. But I really liked this group. Like, I think these six were just really good.
Yeah,
I think it took
I
a
do
while for Dolameen to grow on me because I think it
Gohalim.
took a while for him to like open up with stuff.
Yeah. Wait. Also, wait, are we going in? Are we officially going into story now, or are we still on gameplay?
Oh, we were talking about side quests. That would
Okay.
be under
Okay. Okay.
characters.
Oh
But
yeah.
like, let's I don't like gameplay stuff. I don't know. Everything else just kind of seemed like well for me, like getting items, like
Yeah. I think
farm
the
stuff
craft.
I didn't really
Yeah.
do other than like for side
Mhm.
quests. Like I'll be like, okay, I need to get beef because they they do a really great job at the end where they were probably just like, oh shit, no one's probably gonna do the ranch mode. So how's about we just have some of those items for those quests just in others like in like um chests or whatever, and they did, and it was great.
Yo.
But there were a
Definitely.
couple of quests where you needed beef at the beginning and you couldn't get
Yep.
beef, so
I
they
didn't get it.
really
Yep.
forced it. So I was like, okay, I'll just let time run on this. I won't really
That's what
care
I.
about it, and I'll do that, and that's fine.
Yep. Yep. I did the same. Yeah. Honestly, like. Yeah. Go ahead.
Other than that, forging was fine. It was bare bones. Cooking was fine. Bare bones, whatever. Accessory thing, fine, whatever. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means like because honestly, if there was a mini game for everything, it would kind of not be that. It would
Yeah.
just take too long, and it's just
Yeah. It'd
like,
be
you know
annoying.
what? These are convenient, and it's great.
Yeah, I agree. It would be super annoying if you have to do stuff every time and wanted to craft something or cook something. That's annoying.
Because
Um,
everybody does it for fishing. Like
yeah,
every
yeah.
game
E-
does it.
every JRPG, because that's their thing. It's not a real JRPG if you can't fish. That's just what it is. I don't make the rule.
Yeah.
But what I will say though is that like all of those things, like the accessory building, the weapon and all that stuff, like they did a great job of really like making it worthwhile integrating it into the gameplay loop compared to previous entries. Like in terms of like all of the mechanics, everything feels so fleshed out. It's just so much better. So much better on a gameplay perspective than almost every other game. It's like they did such a great job with it. Like I felt like doing all those
Mm-hmm.
things. They did a really good job. But at the same time, they didn't force you to either. It was just fucking good.
Yeah.
They did a really good job.
The thing that I really liked about like forging and crafting and whatnot, the one thing I will say, I guess, like going because it will go back to everything. The way that money, I feel like there should have been a another way to get money because like at least at the beginning, because it took a while for like you to get like on par for money.
Yeah, quests were the only way, and quests do make you a lot of money. Like
Um,
they're not cheap with that.
yeah. I would have like I think I would have liked like four enemies maybe to drop something, but the way that they did it was like the like because like you could always also grind enemies. I never did. I fought everything once and that was about it.
pretty much.
And like
Um,
especially on the last dungeon, you level up so much.
because I don't know about you, but when I went in there, I was so underleveled. I was like, I was like almost 10. I was like 8 or 9 levels. I was like,
I think it's
Jesus,
programmed that way because at
I
the
got
end
it
you'll
was.
be like evened out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, wait, what level was I at the end? Let me. Uh,
I was
what
like
level were you?
50. At the end, I was 53, but at the beginning of the end, I was 44.
Yeah, I was around there. Yeah, same, same. Which was a little rough, but then it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I ended up.
Because if you fight every single mob, are you are you good?
Yeah, you know what level I ended on?
What?
Level 49. I
Ooh.
didn't even crack 50. And by the way, this is after I did like post game shit. So I was actually lower than this. Actually, I was like 48,
Mm.
which is insane. What was
So I
wrong
fought
with me?
everything and it leveled me 8 levels, which is
See,
insane.
what I did was I skipped the really big enemies. I just skipped all of them. I fought the little dudes, but the big guys, I was like, fuck it. I don't have the money or the materials, and I don't want to go do more side quests right now. I want to beat the game. So
You
I
see,
was
I
like,
did have the money and the materials,
I did not. Um,
so
so that was not ideal.
yeah.
So, oh, you know,
Like so, I guess going back, like I would have preferred like something like that, but they did drop so many like things, especially when you could like chain
yeah,
boost.
yeah,
It was super convenient because like
eh,
all you really needed those that stuff for was weapon forging, which is now getting back into that. Um, which was for like weapon forging. Like you could just look, okay, I need this many for this item or for these items, and I could sell the rest, and then you would
right.
end up getting a like money otherwise. And I think like that was a way to even it out, but it didn't even out for me personally until the middle of the game, which is kind of ridiculous. Um,
So, so I've got a couple things to say real quick. Unless if you're not done, then
I'm good, yeah.
oh, okay. So like, uh, yeah, so one thing I wish this game did this. I honestly, I wish more games did this. I wish it would tell you where or what enemies drop what things. Like if it says I need Titan Fang, whatever, what enemy,
Do you
where?
know
Like
what?
tell.
Do you know what
But
game is gonna do that?
what?
Pokemon Legends Arceus. Yup. They confirmed
I,
it on the Dex. You go on the Pokédex and you'll see it.
okay, yeah, but that
Fun
that
fact.
means nothing. That means nothing to me. But okay. But
I know it means nothing to you. I just think it's funny as fuck.
it is funny.
That
Yeah,
Pokemon's gonna do this, and Tales of Arise isn't.
we don't need to do that. But no. But another thing though. So it's something I wanted to kind of mention. So, what are your thoughts, like overall, on the difficulty of the game? Because one of the aspects of it was like the CP system, where you have limited healing arts and stuff. What were your thoughts on that? The
as
difficulty in
long
general?
as long
Hmm?
as you have Shion, everything's completely fine. The part where you don't have her, oh, that
No,
dungeon was hard.
it was extra hard. It was extra hard.
Cause
Um,
Dolameen will use the most useless healing stuff as well.
yes, because like when he starts, especially at that point in the game, you don't have much. It isn't until like after that part where you get like shit like resurrection. So you're in trouble. You need to like you're in trouble. But yeah, I felt like I liked
Yeah.
that they pushed.
So stuff crapped out on us. Neil, just go on about what you were saying about the difficulty.
Right. So I think last thing I was saying. So I like that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember like I was saying I like that since I like that they're pushing the difficulty up. I do like that. The last few games that has not been the case, so I'm very happy about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Then I think that I remember I said stuff. Yeah, 'cause it makes the boost strike feel good to land because like the enemies are a little bit hard, take longer to kill, they're a little bit harder to kill. They have a bit more bite to them. That it feels good when you land them. You got like half health, and then you just one hit KO them. So yeah, I think they nailed it overall.
I completely agree. I think the one thing that I also really like was the weak points.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I definitely
Because
like that.
especially for bigger enemies, it will definitely like help with that. Like I'm the type of person where I'll notice like I guess I'll notice like a lot of like if something's too difficult like for me to like comprehend in a span of time, like I won't just because like I guess I'm someone who doesn't want to continuously stay on something. I'll just like cuz like for Kiseki I'll always like weaken enemies. Like that's
Yeah,
something I'll do. But like in this game, like if I failed something, I'll either like notice that I failed that and I'll try to like I can actually like figure out and on the second attempt I can. Whereas like cuz I don't know, I'm just a person that knows my limits and will quit. I guess or will like try to make things easier in order for me to finish that thing.
Right. I mean, especially in video games. At the end of the day, we're gonna have fun here. So if
Yeah.
doing doing the same thing fight 10 times is not fun for most people. So if you want to change the difficulty, that makes like that's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Easy mode is not for pussies.
Yeah,
If anything, saying easy mode is for pussies is for pussies.
exactly. Honestly,
Yep.
like look, when I was like 13, I had infinite time. I could sit for hours on this one boss battle. Like, dude, I'm at school. I'm not doing this. I need
Yeah.
to move on. I need to move on.
Yeah, for me, like, I just have so many games I want to play and so many games in my back catalog that, like, focusing on something like as minor as that, for me at least, mm-mm. But, like, but to, like, make it difficult enough to, I thought this game was difficult enough that you had to,
Yeah,
like, figure it out, but
yeah.
once you figured it out, you were good.
It worked really well. Yeah, and like yeah, I appreciated that the difficulty was fair. Like it never like you didn't like if you lost a fight, it's because you couldn't be playing better. Like it was just that. Like
Yep.
there's I don't think there's a fight in the game where it's like, oh, this isn't fair. Like this, I'm getting hit by stuff I shouldn't be getting. It didn't feel like that. I think that's good.
Yeah, I thought everything was fair. The thing I didn't think was fair was, I guess we'll go just talk about the final boss really quickly. You'll
Yeah, yeah.
spawn these weird like ball things.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah,
I was
yeah.
okay, I was this
I
close to killing it on the second phase.
oh,
And like
yup.
every and like
Yes, sir.
Alphen and Rinwell were like dead. And so I was just like, I need to pop this like right now, like this the Omega Elixir right now, or I'm dead.
Yeah.
Because of these little
Dude,
fucks, and I was this close. I had like 1,000 health left. So
yeah.
fucking annoying. The final
I
the
hated that.
final fight wasn't that hard for me.
No, I actually thought the fight before, like his second form, was harder because I had to kill all those damn orcs. I fucking hate those things. Yeah, those things. Okay, those things were totally bullshit. Yeah, I forgot about those. Fuck those guys. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah,
Um.
yes.
So
It's
now
like
let's
they have
talk.
like yeah. Anyway.
No. You go. You go.
I was like, dude, they have like full screen beams. They just come at you, dude. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
not good. Okay, anyway, let's move on.
Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's transition from gameplay. We've already mentioned it. Our
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Who's your favorite character?
Feeling.
Shion?
Yeah.
I think for once we're gonna agree on our favorite character. Just Shion.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Okay.
Wholeheartedly have to agree. Her arc is so
It's so
beautifully
good.
well because every instance you can see it, because it's not just like she didn't have some of her feelings. Like, I think it's just beautifully told because, like, she's putting this cold exterior because
Yeah.
she doesn't want, to give herself that hope.
No, because she knows. Like, she knows for a fact that it's not ending. Especially when you find out, like, near the end, where it's like, her whole thing is like, I'm trying to die.
Wait,
Like,
hold on.
there's no reason. What?
I should have said the spoiler alert.
No. Wait, yeah, that's
Spoiler
true.
alert! We're gonna have a spoiler alert here.
It's a
And
spoiler for the whole video,
no,
dude.
no,
We
no, no, no.
can't
So,
be.
no. So here's what's up. From this point until I say
Oh.
otherwise, we're
I
entering
see.
spoiler alert territory.
Yeah,
That is
yes,
what I
that.
should have said from
Yes,
characters onward.
yes, yes. Okay.
Now, so Shion wants to die.
Yeah. So like it makes so much sense why she does the thing she does early game where she's like being kind of a jerk sometimes because it's like she's like I'm trying to die anyway. Like what's the point? What's the point of anything? It's like oh it's so good, so
and
good.
And like even though she kind of like you can tell throughout the whole entire game, she does like Alphen.
Yeah, and she wants connection. She wants it. Like and you can tell like the moment she like was like she touched her without like flinching or anything that from that moment on, it was very clear that she was like, even though she was still kind of cold, like she was still like starting to warm
Yeah.
up to him,
Um
pretty quickly.
the one
So
instance that like I think that was really good was when she called when he called them his friends.
Yeah. Oh,
Dolameen
dude.
and Shion, and that was, I
Yeah.
think, the moment we as an audience, if you didn't see it already, because I kind of like started seeing it in like Cislodia and
Yeah.
Edelmencia. That was the moment where like you're like, oh, like she actually does want this. Like
Yeah.
we aren't a means to an end.
And she literally said like later in the game that like it was that moment when you said that like it really like hit home for me because like in Cystodia like he literally I was a great I just love Alfred like he's awesome like he literally says to like the leader of the resistance or whatever that he was like oh we like we're not having this Renan in here and he's like if you don't have her you don't have me so your choice like
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she does. If she stays, then I stay. Otherwise, it's not happening. I'm like, God, I love him. I'm like, dude, he literally. Oh, it was awesome. It was such a good scene. Like, Alvin, he was great. He was great.
Also, I think me and
Um,
Shion would get along really well. She likes to eat. I like to eat.
that's it's great. She's
I just love how all of
so
them
funny.
are just like how like how are you so slender but you eat so much?
Yeah.
um so
All right,
let's say least favorite um crew or least favorite teammate.
team. Damn, that's hard. That's
So I'll
hard. I
I'll
like.
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I think for me personally, and at first I think that I think before yesterday I might have said Dolamine, but I'm honestly leaning towards Kisara because I think it's one of the two. Cause
I agree.
like, cause like Kisara for me, not to say she like I don't think any of them are bad.
No, I don't think so either.
Um, like like I think that like her character like kind of progresses like it I don't know if it like progresses and halts, but like it kind of just stays. It's the one stagnant one I feel.
Yeah, so it's because when you go to Menancia and stuff like that, that's where she has her character arc, and then
Yeah.
she's just done after that. There's nothing else,
Yeah.
which I don't think it didn't have to be that way. So I agree. I actually wholeheartedly agree. It's definitely Kitana for sure. I agree. I
Yeah, and
agree.
like it kind of stops and like I love that she's the motherly figure.
I do, but like that's kind of it. And like some of her
Because I
dialogue,
think the crew kind of needs it. Because I
I
think
agree.
her
I agree.
dialogue, I think is great. I think it's fine. I just think that like overall, her character starts and stops in her arc.
Yeah, in Venantia, yeah, pretty
And
much. I agree. I agree. Whereas basically every other character they have for the entire game, they have an arc for the entire game. It's,
and I
her
think
is
like
only then.
yeah,
So I agree.
and I think that like
Like,
she has the wait. Oh, you go.
oh no, you can finish. You can finish.
I think she has the weakest like I don't not like one-on-one skits. I think she is the weakest because
Yes,
all they
I
do is talk about we already put the spoiler alert thing up there so I don't have to
yeah,
say it. Her
yes,
dead brother. That's all
yeah.
she talks
Literally,
about.
I was literally gonna. Yeah, it's so it got a little annoying. I'm gonna be honest, a little bit. Like not like really really annoying. It wasn't like a deal breaker, but it was just like okay, but like literally every other fucking skit dialogue, it's just your fucking brother, man. Like I get it, but no. Also,
Cuz
okay, because uh,
yeah.
I don't know. I was gonna say like her arc is essentially her. By the end, she finds out like she does have an arc. I don't think it's. I think I was wrong. She does have an arc to the end where it's like her finding out what her real goal is in terms of because first you think, oh, I want like to make Medancia better and like that coexistence, but by the end she's like, I want it better for like everybody. Like I don't believe in it just for like my hometown, but I believe in this for like the whole world. Like this can be done.
But to me it seemed like she already knew that.
Well, no, like because like well, she did, but it didn't. She didn't like fully understand. Like it wasn't comprehensive. As was like,
Yeah.
it's the same ideal, but it's put to a much bigger, bigger setting. Like, so like it's not really an arc
But
though.
it's
Like,
not as good as any of the other
it's
ones.
nowhere near as interesting as the other ones. Yeah, because those are all personal stories, and this kind of like her realizing like what she wants, or not really what she wants to do, but like the truth of her ideal, kind of like what it really means to pursue what she's trying to pursue. So, which is fine. It's fine, but like I guess it is a little bit less interesting. And for me though, it was a lot of it was the whole brother thing. And I get your brother did just die. Like it's probably been like 2 weeks. I get it, but do we have to do this every time? Like I get it. Your brother taught you this and that and this, and I get it. But yeah, no,
Um,
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. If I had to rank them, I'm gonna go Shion, I don't know if it's Runwell or Alphen, but it's one of the two for me. They might. I'm just gonna say if they share joint second for me.
Okay.
Law, Dolameen, Kisara. What about you?
All right. For me, Xion, Alphen, Law, Rinwell, Dohalim, and then
I guess we'll start bottom to top. Just going through the other characters. The thing I like about Dolameen is I think he gives a perspective of the guy who's kind of not been handed everything, but like is very unaware of what's going on.
I, True, and I also think he's definitely the Renin perspective because Xion isn't very much of a Renin, like a stereotypical
Yeah.
Renin. He is. So yeah.
And I think that like and yeah, I think that's good. I think the thing I really like and like but he's gone through his own trauma as well. It's just not it's like which is weird to this is going to be so weird to say because he is the darker skinned of all of them. He has like the white privilege perspective. Like with the white privilege problems. Like I
Oh,
swear to
that's
god he
funny.
does.
Yeah, he kind of does. That is funny. That's funny. Yeah, but you're
Like
right though. Like if you compare him to like the entire rest of like okay, you killed your friend. Okay, that's true. But like he attacked and all this stuff. The other guys are way more fucked up than you. I was just saying. This also, damn, you're right. I didn't notice.
like he did it out of self-defense, sure, but like no,
Like
that is a
law, like
but his whole life is like or in like his whole perspective and like his like problem it's more of a white privilege like white problem compared to the rest of them which
but like okay, I that is funny, but like I don't think that his problems. Like I feel like the point, one of the points of his character is to be like just because his problems aren't as like crazy as everyone else's doesn't make them any less valid, which is just true. Just in life
no it
and in
doesn't
whatever, it's like yeah, it's just a different perspective. He comes from a different place, so he can't have the same problems as everyone else.
yeah
That'd be weird. So
and I think
yeah,
it and I think like him like learning through all of that and like at the end he essentially becomes the leader of the leader of the Renans
yeah. And
quote unquote but like you know what I mean
another great thing about him is or like it isn't just him, but in general is that there's very frequently like genuine conflict of some kind within the cast, and I think that's part of what makes him so compelling. Like for example, Dohalim will like say something very rude to a Donut, but like he doesn't understand. He's not trying to. But it's never like, oh, don't worry about it. It's always like, bro, what the fuck? And then he's like, okay, you know what? Like, I fucked up. That's fine. Like, they don't like he takes it seriously, and so does everyone else. I think that's just solid writing, and it's just good.
yeah because that's how people should be when
Right.
something happens like something big yeah, or like something that hurts somebody's feelings, you have to understand what you did wrong and you will have to apologize for it.
Yeah,
It's
like
just a
but like
life
what I
lesson to
like,
learn.
yeah, like what I like though is that the characters do genuinely get mad at him or like someone and they like reconcile, and so rather than like, oh, don't worry about it, it's like, oh, you're different. Like, no, like, even though you're our friend, like, you still like have to respect our places in life. Like,
Yep.
you have to do that, and it's like, that's good. Like, that's just really, that's, I love that. I love that a lot. So,
Also, I think he's a bit quirky too, because like with the artifacts and everything, or like
I think,
about relics, like him and Rinwell are just so quirky about like the older stuff when it comes to it, and I just like love that. Even
yeah, and,
though Rinwell is just super creeped out by being similar to Dolim.
yeah, in the beginning. By the end, though, she's chill. But like, that's another great thing, though. Like, I think about the cast is that they all do have their quirks, but like they also have like some kind of thing with a different member, and that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's real. Yeah, I think that's like really nice too.
Like, this is something that I've been like really missing from like recent, basically everything post Exilia, and then honestly before it too. Most Telltale games aren't this good. Like, I don't think, yeah, like they don't do this as much as I would like. So,
Yeah,
you know, I think it's great that this game does that. Yeah, I think it's really, really important for like a group dynamic. I think it's really, really important.
because when you have a group, everybody's gonna have their own relationship, big cast or small cast, and I
Yeah,
think
like,
something, and I think something that like, let's go with like a smaller cast type of deal. I think something that does it really great is One Piece, or like a bigger
yeah,
cast like One
I,
Piece.
I think One
They
Piece
do a
does a good
great
job
job with it.
because,
I cannot wait to see how Jinbei fits into everything, because I don't think we've
yeah,
seen it yet.
yeah, because they
Like
haven't.
Jinbei, yeah. Were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, because they haven't had a chance to chill with him yet. So
Yeah, like
that's all.
Jinbei, potentially Yamato and Carrot. Like I'm so excited to get out of Wano to have. Like we're probably not gonna have a few chapters, but at least like what I hope for is a couple of chapters where they're just on the ship, doing some goofing and gaffing. At least some sort of canon anime filler thing. I don't know. That's my hope.
Right,
Um,
because, yeah, no,
yeah,
you're right, because what makes a great cast is because a lot of the time, like, you'll see in RPGs where it's like, oh, like they're all just friends with the main character, or they just function as a unit.
yeah,
But like, which those are fine, but like, I think the best cast have relationships with each other. Like, each character has a unique relationship, or at least a semi-unique relationship with a different member of the cast.
yeah.
And that is like, well, that's the kind of character writing that I love to see. That's what I want from
Like
these games.
I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but like one, I think that's a bit of a gripe I have with Class 7 almost.
I agree. I agree. I think Class
Because they're
Seven
all
as
kind
a
of just interconnected with Reen or interconnected with Yuna.
yeah. I think they could have done, because like, what they decided to do was, rather than have the class have friends with each other, well, they are, but like they try to focus on outside the class, and I'm like, why? You have
Yeah,
like all the characters here. Why are you doing this? Like, cause
I
like, for
agree.
example, like, if you have like fucking Elisa and Gaius in a room, like, how the fuck are they gonna interact? I have no idea. I literally don't know, and that's not good, because they had four fucking, okay, well, if you want to be technical, they had 3 games at least. What are we doing? So a lot of it happens off screen, so you don't see it. It's just, yeah, I that is easily, as a cast, it's the weakest aspect of that cast. Individually, they're fine, but it's in that sense, yeah, I agree.
That's why I love skits, because like skits over like bonding stuff,
Oh, skits are infinitely better. Are you? Oh my, not
because
even
it
close,
shows the
dude.
interaction between the whole cast compared to the interaction between the main character and someone
Right, and it's
else.
yeah, and it's not even that, like, every skit doesn't have every cast member in it. Like, and that's not necessary.
Yeah.
It's just that you get to see these characters just talk to each other about shit that don't matter. Like,
Oh yeah.
this is like, it's kind of off topic, but like, not completely off topic, but kind of
Neil,
off
we're a
topic.
channel born on
You're right.
tangents.
You're right. But it's like the skits in this game. Well, I do like the skits in this game. They're good. They like I did have some issues with them, and one of the issues I had were a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them,
Do
like
you want to
90%.
save it? Do you want to
Uh
save your skit problems for after we go over
oh
the
yeah.
game?
That's what I figured. Yeah, so I was kind of off topic. Yeah. Let's just wait. We'll wait for that.
So because it's off topic, like when it's a tangent, like that kind of has to do with our point, like because I was bringing up One
Yeah.
Piece and like Tales or Trails. We're still like kind of on the character thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we are going to talk about skits, and I think it's going
Yeah.
to be good after this. So, you want to tackle Rinwell or Law first? What do you want to do?
Let's do Ridwell.
Okay. The thing I like about Rinwell is I actually like I think like beginning Rinwell I'm not as big of a fan of, but like second half Rinwell I really like.
Yeah, like literally everything after Niaz? Yeah, Niaz. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the place. Yeah, everything after that was
Akvostar
great. Yeah,
is the name of the
it was,
land is the
yeah,
domain, but
yeah.
Niaz is the capital.
Yeah. Like everything after that, I thought was she was even better. I liked her before, but I loved her after.
Because I think that um yeah, I think that like Rinwell is just like what I like about Rinwell is that like Shion, I think it's kind of weird to do this, like to say this. I think like they were both kind of like tsunderes towards like the beginning of their arcs,
Okay.
and I feel like Rinwell keeps it whereas Shion doesn't.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'd consider us. I don't know about that. But like, I get where you're coming from, though. I do understand.
Um,
I get what you're trying to say.
cause like especially like her relationship with Law, because you know
Oh
she
my
it's
god. Can we? Okay, can we talk about shipping now or later?
I want to
This
do
is important.
I like so literally I wanted to do it
This
right
is
after we
important.
talked about all of the characters because I have
Okay.
an
Okay.
interesting shipping line that I think is going to be different from yours.
Can I just say though, the game does kind of tell you the ships. Though we have to agree on this. It does tell you.
I think it
Like at the
does.
end,
I
it
think it
definitely
does,
does.
but I think we're going to get two different things out of a couple of things. One of
Exactly.
them we're definitely not going to disagree with.
Yeah.
Rinwell
Yeah.
and Law.
Yeah.
And
That. Okay.
we both have talked about this already, but also Shion and Alphen.
Oh my god,
We're gonna get
dude.
into this. We're gonna get into
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. All right. Anyway.
I really like that because I think like what Rinwell like I think that like when she has a bit of like spice or zest to her that like a tsundere has. Not maybe not at like she is a heavy tsundere, but like she has the zest of one. And I think it works so well for her character. And I think like not only that, but like she like Shion was not compassionate until her breaking point. Which was like for her it was being stopped by Law, which I think
Oh
is
yeah.
such a good moment.
It's so good. It's such a good scene, dude.
Because Law is
Oh
just like, I don't want this to eat up at you like it does for me.
god, Law is such a good character. Oh, that was so good, dude.
And
Oh
like I think like and like when she opens up, like it is just so good. Um which is why she almost competes with Alphen for me because I really like her. Like that second half of it. So, not only that, but like I just love Hootle because we'll talk about Hootle too. He doesn't count as a cast member.
yo,
He's not going to count as a
no.
teammate, but we love Hootle here. We stand Hootle.
Yo, we do. He's adorable. So his relationship with Law is really funny. It's great.
Yeah, because he gets jealous of Law because he knows Rinwell likes him.
Yup, and he also knows Law likes her. So this is
Yup.
great.
So it's so
So good.
good. So let's talk about Law.
Yeah, dude, I love Law. I
I
love
love
him.
Law. I think
He's
Law
best boy.
is the goofball younger brother. I think that like he's definitely the more I don't know what you would call this in a story. I don't remember like the point of it. It's like I don't want to say the basic perspective, but like he is like the more unknowing character. So when we see his perspective, or like when we see him, like we're kind of like him because like everybody else kind of knows something, whereas he kind of doesn't. So he's the more reactionary character, I feel, to everything.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like
Which I think is good to
another
have.
another thing I love about Law is first of all he's a homie, and he's also like he might be like he might be like kind of an airhead sometimes, but like he's also very mature at times. Like
Yeah.
he is awesome. He like the scene where he like talks to Alphen and stuff. Great. Like after he gets memories back. And also all the stuff with like Rinwell. He's great.
Yo,
He's so good.
he's
He's so
he I think the thing that I like about his character is he doesn't just move on from his like dad's death either,
yeah.
cuz like your brother is kind of one thing, but like this is the guy that raised you and you guys didn't end on good terms.
Yeah, that's another thing I think about the cast in general is that they never like fully fix the character's problems, but like they're just like, but by the end that they're on the right path to getting it, and I think that
Yeah.
was cool. I like that.
I
And it's true for
agree.
Law. Yeah, he doesn't solve his issues, but like he's better at dealing with them, and you're clear that he's going in the right direction.
Yep. And yeah. I would just love to see like a little hour OVA just as an aftermath, just to see how everyone's doing.
Bro, I want a sequel, dude. Oh my god,
A
do you
sequel.
know? I don't know. I want it. I want more.
I don't know if we would get a sequel just because I feel like
Well,
everything
no,
ended.
I know. I know, I know.
I mean,
I mean that.
unless you want to make we're gonna talk about him because unless you want to make Volron more Sephiroth, you could bring him
No, no,
back.
no, no. This is what you do. No, this is what you do. You just make the main character of the next game Alfred and Sion's kid. Problem solved. That's it. Yeah, I solved it for you. That's it.
Okay.
And they've done it before. Tales of has done that before. So
What is it?
it's not impossible.
Was it Tales of Symphonia?
No,
And
it was Tales of Destiny and then Tales of Destiny 2.
is that a
Destiny
good
2 has this.
game?
I've never played it. Those are like they're like the older games. So like right
Oh.
sprite based
I
games. I'm pretty
I've
sure.
played Tales of Fantasia. Trust me when I say this, you're not missing much playing the
So,
older
yeah,
games.
exactly. But so I'm like, hey, we that could work. That could happen. Like, listen, I like the characters. I want more.
I
But
would love to see a sequel. For me, I feel like everything is resolved,
no,
so I would rather
I
just
agree.
see like an episode or two OVA, just seeing like slice of
Yeah,
life, just seeing how everyone's doing.
yeah. No, I agree. I'm mostly joking. I'm mostly joking. But
I would
yeah.
love a sequel just as much as
Uh,
you, though. Just believe you me.
all right.
Um,
Yeah. Back to characters.
let's talk about our main character, our last one, our main.
Yeah. Yeah. Alphen. I love Alphen.
I do too.
He's a very straightforward, simple guy, but that's what makes him awesome.
I think
That's
the
what makes
one
him great.
thing I actually really liked about Alphen that you find out in the skits is he has a short temper,
Yeah.
which I think is so funny.
I think that is pretty funny. Like, it's not like he doesn't have like an explosive temper. He's more of like he can get irritated really easily. It's kind of like he doesn't like blow up every like second or anything like that, but like he can definitely get a little irritated over like little like things. And the way that it was really funny because they were like, oh, because I actually just watched that recently, like I think yesterday, 2 days ago. Like they were like, yeah, because like ever since he got his pain back, he's just like every little thing. I was just like, I don't know why. This is funny. It's funny, but he's like
Like
he's
he's
always like that. he's just like when things that like yeah, it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think what's like great about him is that he I don't know how to put his character. I think like just like having him like forget everything and then remember everything, I think was really good. Like I think they told his amnesia like really well. And I think they
Yeah,
like gave him back his memories at a great time.
yeah. Actually, I'll save that for like some of the I guess to conclude. But one of the things I loved about this game, I guess, is like it uses a lot of like classic JRPG tropes, but like does its own thing with it. And I'm like, oh man, like I think I love playing this game so much because as I played it, I had this fuzzy feeling inside of like, oh yes, I'm playing a JRPG right now. But it was
Yeah.
like, it did its own thing, and I think so. Yeah, I think like the not being able to touch like or feel pain was a great thing for his character. His relationship with Xion is just so good.
I think the moment when he can feel the pain again
What?
and like
Oh,
he tries to go for her,
brilliant! And
there
it's
are
like that.
so
Yeah,
many moments in this story that we're going to talk about that just really touch at the heartstring.
yeah. That was such a good scene. It was so good.
Um, Before we move on to skits, I want to ask who is your favorite of the lords?
Is it other than Dohalim? I'm wondering because he's a party
Okay,
member.
apart from Dohalim.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, probably Volrun or Discount Sephiroth.
Let's go. Yeah. Wish
Yeah.
Sephiroth, dude.
What?
We're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to him when we talk about the story because I think that like
uh,
I swear we have okay. Mine personally, just because I love how evil she is, because I think Volron, you kind of find out like he kind of did he's an asshole,
he's
but
a
I think
horrible human being.
nothing's more evil than what the chick did, the fourth girl.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she is.
Cause like he
Yeah.
was just ending people's lives and careers.
Right. Yeah. I just like
Like
what
he
this
was
is
putting
cool.
like she tortured these people and
No.
loved
Yeah.
it.
Well, he
She
was to
would
be
kill people off of knowledge. To me, she was the definition of evil, and I think the one
real.
thing that like she did that I think really like I think like the thing is like I think that like the one thing that I think was great is like sometimes when people decide to write women villains, they'll try to be more sympathetic with it just because they don't want to paint them in like a wrong I don't want to say like in a wrong light or whatever. But like I think a great villain doesn't have to be like sympathetic. Like it doesn't have to be like two sides of the coin like Loki in the MCU. Sometimes a great villain is just evil.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
and
I
like
agree
and
with
she
that.
personified that evil.
Yeah. I mean, some of the shit she does is fucked. Um, I think the reason I like Volron so much is for two reasons. He's a great foil for Alphen. I mean,
Alphen,
he
he
literally
is.
is. Yeah, he is
He
fantastic.
is.
Um, and like she does do some like messed up stuff, but I think what does it for me is like how good of a foil he is for Alphen because he really is the antithesis of him in every way, and so it makes their fights and their clashes really
Yep.
interesting.
I think that
And
like
so
I think he's a great perspective as to what Alphen could have been
yeah, that as
if
well.
maybe like he
Yeah.
didn't get that mask.
Right. That's well. Yeah. Well, that and like I think he met like he had like dowry and stuff. So it's like a lot of he got very lucky essentially.
Yeah. I
Like
think he got very lucky. It's like it's like when Goku went to Earth, right? And like
yeah.
he had the influence of Grandpa Gohan, but if he never
Uh-huh,
had that
okay.
influence,
Yeah.
he would have just killed all the Saiyans, or he killed all of the Earth
Ah,
people.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could kind of agree with that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's 100%.
Yeah, but
Same.
yeah, but like even Alphen says it in the story, and he's like, like I could have ended up like you.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why he like obviously like doesn't like him, but like also won't like completely condemn him. Like he does not like this man, but like at the same time he's like, I could have been you. Like it's not completely your fault. Um
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Who is your favorite? And one last one. Who's your favorite side character? No
I
lords.
uh-huh. Oh
No main cast.
well.
No Zephyr.
Who's left? Who's even left after that? Well, who's left? Tell me.
My personal one is the food guy from the side quests.
I mean, I guess he's pretty great.
Other than that, I mean, like, we could talk about the owls. I fucking love the owls.
I mean, they're cute. Yeah, I do
No,
like it.
no, no. Like, the king and the queen, like, their
No.
conversation. Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's very
Because, like,
funny.
when Alphen and Shion are, like, translating for them, and they're just like,
Huh?
are you guys being the, are like, you guys are translating for the owls, right? And they're like, yeah, we're translating for the owls. Totally nothing else. And it's like, I just thought it was great. Like, let's just go into skits right now. Talk about your skit,
Yeah.
your stuff on skits.
Oh, right, right. Okay, yeah. So so I do overall like the skits in this game, but what I didn't like about the skits in this game is, and this is a trend. This isn't a new trend. The last few games have done this. Um, that is that the characters, for the most part, most about 90% of skits are just them talking about the plot, uh, or like the world build, the world, or like something else. And it's like we can have that. We can definitely have that. There's room for that. But what I do miss is the much sillier skits of old. Like if you look at skits from like Graces, or you look at skits in Exilia, especially, I think Exilia has some of the best skits in the series. Is that they're just silly. Like there's a random skit top of my head. Like um Alvin and Jude are just like they're in like this new area, and there's like a big valley. So it's like Alvin's like, dude, like, oh, you could probably have an echo. It's so big here. And then like she's like, oh, I kind of want to try it. And then he's like, go for it. And then he's like, you know what, I'll do it. And he's echo. And then there's no echo. So then Alvin's like, echo, echo again. And then they're just like making fun of him. It's just funny. It's like it has nothing to do with anything. It's just them being stupid. It's just that's it. You know what I
I
mean? And it's like,
so
yeah.
I think the one thing that I will say is that's true. Um, I think that they do that, but they wait till the absolute end to do it, and you have to go out of your way to try to find them. Because,
I don't
like, if
know.
you
Like
don't
for
go to every area, it won't give you, like, some of those skits. That like,
it's
kind of are just random and wacky.
Yeah, but I've seen like a good amount of those, but I just wish there were more because like
I completely agree.
I think one of the reasons why I like Exilia so much is that it has this perfect balance. Because like there are skits in the same vein as this where like it's about like the world of Maxia, or like the current city we're in, or something like that. Like it does that, but it always makes sure to wrap around back to the character. Like there are skits where the characters are just kind of like they're just kind of talking about stuff that isn't really, it's not funny. It's not telling me much about the character as it is about the plot or the setting, and that's it, right? Like for example, in Exilia, there's this one skit where it's like the town you're in is like has like a coliseum, and it's like, oh, so like the skit is basically about the characters, like one of the characters being like, oh, I'm gonna go in that, I'm gonna gamble at the coliseum, it's gonna be awesome. So basically through that skit you learn that, okay, this place has a coliseum, and like you can gamble there, and then like but then like it also tells you about like something about the characters and all that other stuff. So it's like plus it's funny on top of that. So it's like that's kind of what I'm talking about, and it's like we don't have a lot of that in this game as much as I would want anyway, personally. That's
I
kind of
agree
me.
with you. I completely agree with you. I think that that's such a valid point. I think that I don't know how to put it. I think that like all of that stuff is just I think that like letting your characters I don't want to say breathe a little bit, but like not making them as serious would be a good idea. And I think the reason that they don't do that as much anymore is just because they've been going in a more darker, serious route with Berseria and now this one.
I mean, but like that hasn't stopped them before. Like older games have like seriousness in them, but we can still usually do it. It's I don't really I think it's just like a shift where it's like it's not like I think it's just a priority thing. It's like I think that they want to focus more on the world building and like stuff like that, the plot, or like it's not even the plot. I don't yeah, or like just I don't really know why they do it like this now. So I don't know if that is the case because older games are as very are can be very dark. So I don't really know because even hell, Zisteria does it like this too, and that game is not dark as out at all. That's like the fucking lightest game ever. There's
True.
nothing there. Zisteria,
Yeah.
and that game's new. So I don't, and it came right after Exilia. So I don't Exilia 2. I don't know, but
Yeah.
they, and what we do get though in terms of like the more like chill skits are fucking amazing. So I just wish there were more. That's really it. I still like what we have though. Like don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I do love the skits. It's just I do wish we had more of that. Those kind of skits. Because to me,
I
that's what skits are.
yeah,
Like
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I just think that like I don't know if they're ever going to go back to that. And I
I
think
don't know.
that like what I would personally do is just I would have a mix of both. Like I would make 50% the world building more serious type of thing and then I'd make 50% the other stuff. Like for example, if you're in a cave, you can have one skit that talks about, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah, we have to be in this cave because of whatnot." But you can also have another skit about one of them just being afraid of the fucking dark and it'd be funny.
Yeah, it's something like that. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And then it's like older games have done that. It's just this one, or the last couple haven't, and that's a little bit of a shame. So I hope that they do that eventually. Hopefully, I don't know.
Me too.
But
I think they will. I think that there are like certain things that they're probably gonna like bring back from like the older stuff that like
I
um I
mean,
I don't know how to put it like that worked.
yeah. Although this game was that game though, like this game they use so much from older titles. It's fucking awesome. It's so cool.
Like
So
I
yeah,
think Berseria was like trying like a bit harder to get away from like what older like the older games did, whereas and then I think they took like maybe a step back since it's been like 5 years since the last one. I think they were
20.
able to take that step within development. They were able to take that step back and say, okay, this is what worked and this is what didn't. And
Hell,
this is
dude.
what works about Berseria and this is what worked about the older stuff. And I think they did a great like mix of the two.
Well, uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't like totally agree with that because like Berseria isn't really that different from the other games. The only real difference is that the story is consistently more darker. Like the other games go to dark places, but then again, I guess to count Exilia 2 as well. I don't know, but I think yeah, a lot of because I think Berseria is very much like it's very much post Exilia because Zestria and Berseria are just kind of like in their own kind of bubble. It's like they obviously it's still part of the Tales of series, so there's
Yeah.
similarities, but like those games just have a different like they got a different
Vibe?
vibe. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, they got a different vibe than
Yeah.
games prior to that. Like it feels so different, despite being like you can still tell it's the same, but like it's different. So it's not just a Berseria thing. I think it's a post Exilia thing, or like a Zestiria and onward thing.
Yeah.
So and then they blend the two styles, and I do think that stylistically they are a bit different. So like I do think that you're right that they take Zestiria and Berseria style and try to like combine it with the older one. I do think it's still more Zestiria Berseria, but definitely is taking more from the older ones, which I like.
And
a lot.
I think that and I think it's something they're probably gonna do a bit more of as I think time goes on, just because I think they know that like people like parts of the older things, but they also like parts of like the newer age like Berseria stuff too. Um,
Yeah,
so hopefully Skits will get back to that. Other than that, I think my favorite person in the skits is Rinwell, just because she'll just go all crazy and just decide to try to kill Law,
yeah.
and it's just funny. Let's
But
go.
yeah, that's yeah,
Let's go. Let's go story. Let's start talking about it.
yeah,
Um. So Act 1, we got the blazing place of Calaglia. We got our start of the story. We get Alphen, Shion, and Zephyr. Zephyr is the leader of the first group, and I think he's a great mentor to Alphen to
yeah.
like make him understand what it truly means to be free.
I
Um,
agree. I agree.
and I think that Balsef, I don't know why, but I laughed after seeing his name the first time because balls.
Yeah.
Um,
False.
I don't know. It was funny to me. I'm childish. Whatever. Sue me. But balls. Um, I think he's a great first like arc villain or great first act villain because he's just acts like he's like big bad and like you know that like you could easily kick his ass or like he's not like that like he's not like that big of like he's I
No,
don't know how to
he is
put it.
really strong story wise, but like, I mean, he is the first boss after all, so he had no shot.
Yeah,
Well, none of them. No.
he's I don't know how to put it. He's just like it's like he's a good first villain because he's more cocky than the other ones. He's more he's not like more ruthless, but he's more
Yeah, honestly, compared to some of the shit the other people did, it makes him look. Oh,
oh yeah.
that's that's fucked up because he does some fucked up shit too. Seems kind of fucked. Anyway,
And
uh,
I think that like I think that he's a great first villain and whatnot. I think that like I think that like you have like Alphen and Shion's like first interactions and I think they're really good. And like
yep,
even then you can kind of tell like Shion like looking back on it, Shion is really like holding back and like, you know, like really trying
yeah,
to like not want to be friends with them like him, but like she really wants just like people to talk to.
yep,
And um and like the skits like during that like she's trying to learn and whatnot and I think that like I think that it's a great introduction to your world.
absolutely. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's the same for you, but like, just that like beginning, I was hooked. I was hooked immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't need any time. Like, sometimes in the game, you're like, oh, I could go. Maybe a couple hours, I'll be like really into. I was like, I started it 20 minutes, not even. I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm in. I'm in for the whole 40 hours.
Yeah,
So,
that was me. Wait, how many hours did you say?
I said 40, but it's probably like I don't know how long it
For
is.
me it was
45.
70.
You're lying. What are you talking?
That's what it said on the end thing. However, I left it on for a
I,
few hours. So it was
it
only
has
like
been.
60.
Cause dude, holy shit, it's not that long. No way. Even if you do quest, it's not that long.
No, it's not. But I think that like for me, because like I mean this isn't like something new to me because Yakuza's done that for me, and like that's what I've been playing over the past like few months or so. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Yakuza 0 literally starts off like so interestingly
I
and
agree.
like
It's a
yeah and like not only that like it also has Bakamita at the beginning. Once you
Bakamita.
listen to
Yes.
that, you're instantly hooked. So
Yup. How could you not be? The story already like kicks off really fast. I agree because I have played the opening parts of the game.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Anyways, like, and I just think like it's really well. Like, I guess one game to. Cause I'm trying to think like what game would I say definitely doesn't do that.
I mean, I don't know.
Like, just trying to think like.
Oh, I just think like I feel like certain. I mean, like for me personally, like a bunch of JRPGs that I played that I don't like. Uh, all of those. So like it didn't. I remember not being into. I mean, if you're just talking about Tales of like Mysterio when I first started playing it, I was like, eh. Right? Yeah. When I started playing, when I started playing the sequel to uh, Symphonia, the only reason I finished that game, I swear to God, is because they had the word Symphonia in it, and I was like, I should
That's
probably
funny.
finish it. I should probably finish it. I also bought it, so like, I
So
gotta
Jack's
fucking
gonna
do it.
kill me.
No,
Jack's gonna kill me, but the first
okay.
couple of hours of Xenoblade One.
Really, first couple, I do agree. Like the
Like
first like
up until like the town is invaded.
attack. Oh, okay. That's not
It,
like too.
like to
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
like so I'd say like a couple of hours. Like it's the same. I'll say my favorite game, Twilight Princess, is the same
Oh my god.
exact way.
Oh my
Up
god. You didn't.
until up until like you like because it's like slice of life stuff, and I'm like, dude, just get me to the part
Okay,
where I'm
but like, dude, Twilight Princess is way worse with that shit than like Xenoblade. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've
too.
seen Twilight Princess. That shit is long as fuck. The
Hmm.
whole village section that takes so long.
So like if you don't know what you're fucking doing, or like you're
Yeah,
not like
that
you
shit.
know like it's just
At least in
mm-mm.
Xenoblade, it's just like a couple cutscenes, and then you get to the good stuff.
Yeah,
That
and
that shit, you
like
got a horrid sheep. Oh,
like I mean it's the same problem I have with Ocarina of Time. It does the same exact thing.
yeah, because you like walk around the village in the beginning and
You have to
stuff,
walk
like
around the
and
village. You gotta
talk.
get your fucking shield and your sword because the guy has to
You know,
stop you, and it's just like, and sometimes you might not even have enough money, and you gotta just like, it's whatever.
ooh.
Twilight Princess does a way better job because they do more
Uh,
characterization, whereas that one's a bit more basic. But
yeah,
it's just like quicker in Ocarina of Time compared to Twilight Princess.
yeah,
Anyways, second act we got Cyslodia. We're in the winter parts now,
yeah.
and
I love the conceit of that arc where it's like every you don't know who's lying and that was all
yeah,
great. That was so cool. I also really liked how each lord. Okay, wait. Okay, I didn't. It was good. Okay, that doesn't. No, that sounds okay. But the way that they did their oppression, how it was like different depending on like the location and how it like
I
drew
think each
out.
of their oppression affects each of like the members. Cause like in
Yeah,
Walsef's, they were more just
that
flat
was
out
kind of like your
slaves.
yeah, that was just like your stereotypical thing, which I think works for like the first introduction and the start of the thing, and then they immediately go into something like Cystodia, where it's like it's not really like physical oppression, but it's like it's
It's a
mental.
mental oppression.
It's more like social oppression than anything. It's not really mental because I would argue that's more of like Volron's thing, but
I wouldn't say
um,
Volron's mental oppression. I'd say that's flat out control, like
well, that's why
control. I'd
he's
say
controlling their minds because like they can't, they don't even know how to like talk. Like that's how
yeah.
bad, like that's how fucked up their minds are. So I feel like that makes sense. Like they can't really even speak. Whereas at least in like Kaglia or even Soda, you can say you might get ratted out, but at least you can speak. You know that shit you can say like hail Volron and that's it. Like not good.
Um, Edelman what was their oppression? It was more
And,
like
and honestly, I wasn't really because when we get there, it's already like roses and dandies for the most part. I mean, except for the on the surface, at least it's good.
it's
Uh,
more like I don't know how to put it. And then like I guess it's like loose oppression,
yeah, it was kind of like yeah, it was like hidden because like what
hidden
was it? Yeah,
oppression.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the whole point of that arc was to show that just because you weren't directly being oppressed in some way, that doesn't mean that you aren't like there isn't something like it doesn't mean that you're necessarily free either.
Yeah.
and I
And
think
I think
that's what that was about. So
I
yeah,
think the fourth one is more. I think that one I would go with like more mental. I don't know if it'd be more
I
like
don't think
mental oppression, but like
that wasn't really no. That one was kind of weird too because when you that one was kind of an anomaly because when you get there, like the Lord's technically already gone, and so it's really like I think the whole point of that arc or that part of the story was to simply show that
not
like show the
all.
characters.
I think it's
Well,
to
like
show that not all. I'm trying to remember the
Donans,
name. Danins. That
yeah,
not all Danins
yeah,
are good, and that not all Renans are evil.
yes, that, but also that even if what they do is evil, like the Renans and stuff, being consumed by that hate will not lead to a good outcome, no matter what.
Yeah,
And because
I think it's
literally what
just.
happened, because they literally all of them die because of they get fueled by so much hate. Even if it was
Uh,
like, even if they were like, what's the word, like, kind of like so manipulated into getting there, the fact that that's what they did is irrefutable. So I think that's what the whole point of that arc was.
you know,
Very good.
and I
So
think that and I think each of the Danins, I feel like reflect their lord.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
how to
I would
put
say
that.
so. I would actually, yeah, outside of probably the first one, which again is because starter, yeah, I agree with you. I would agree with that.
Cause like cause like Ganabel is very deceitful, which we're gonna get into.
Actually,
Um,
yeah,
um,
that's true.
Dohalim is like ignorant to a lot of the
Exactly,
things, and
exactly. It just
so
not.
are all of the Danins.
Yeah,
As evil as I don't remember her name.
yeah, I forgot. I forgot.
So like as evil as she was, so were her people. Or like
Yeah,
and like
okay,
Volron, by the way,
because
this is gonna be a spoiler for later in the game. He was being controlled, just like
yeah,
he was controlling his Danins, and
yeah,
not even just his Danins, his Renans. He
yep, uh,
manipulated.
yeah, yeah, he did, and that was another great thing is because like he very much doesn't see himself as a Renin or a Donin really, so it's like that kind of makes sense that he wouldn't be
Yeah,
really picky on who he did that to. Another thing about the lady, I forgot her name again, is that like she was fueled by like this the one emotion of like the ruthlessness, but like the curiosity for knowledge, but in a very ruthless way, and they were fueled by their anger. So it's like it's always
yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's yes,
I'd say
you
like
nailed it.
Balsef's was
His is a little like he was violent, I guess, uh,
I
but
would
it's not
say
like
like the reflection is like I think that like I don't know how I'm gonna put this.
I don't know. I really don't have much on him. You know,
I think the people of Calaglia, and you could tell me that I'm wrong, were a bit more. I'm not like I don't want to say free and open, but like he was a
no,
lot more
incompetent is what I would say. Because I feel
incompetent.
like because the reason that they were able to create such a powerful resistance was because he wasn't taking his job very seriously, like at all. So he like all because he was so confident. He was so overconfident. He thought, oh, I don't. They will never be able to touch me. And then suddenly, and then that's why he's the only lord where like this was easy. This is like, what are you doing, man? Come on. Like he
And
got
I
rolled.
think like not like, and I think like maybe not everyone, but Alphen was definitely a bit like he was very confident with the first one.
He wasn't. No, how I don't know. Like after they got the burning sword, they definitely were confident, but they weren't overconfident. They were still like careful. They didn't like they weren't reckless.
But but I'm not saying overconfident or like I'm just saying confident in general because he was overconfident whereas they were cautious confident.
I don't know. Okay, but they're always confident. I feel. Like they're always like, we're gonna get in there, and we're gonna beat this guy. Like they always like they're always there every time.
But that's a group mentality, yeah. But like
I
that
don't
was like that group's mentality that they were. I don't know how
know.
to
It
put
feels
it.
a little bit of a stretch. I'm gonna be honest.
Just
Because
let me
being confident is
just let
me.
me have the stretch, Neil.
All
Just let me
right,
have
I'll let
it.
you. All right, it's yours. It's yours.
so so let's go with the Ciclodia. Like they were very deceitful and like that's what created like all of the stuff with like the snake eyes and
Dude, I
like
love that shit. That shit was so good. I loved it.
and I think like what was really good about it is like not only did you have like the law perspective of like
Well, long story.
he betrayed or like he was one of those people unlike Rinwell who was on the opposite side of that. But you had the guy who betrayed who you have the leader of it who ended
Actually,
up
being
actually just being the leader of,
yeah,
of the who ended up
it's
being the Lord.
crazy.
And
Yeah, it's
like
fucking
and like
crazy.
I think it's just like it's so obvious, but it's so not obvious.
No, I'll be
Because
real. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
so the second I saw Ganabelt, I was just like, wait a second, isn't that just the guy? Wait, isn't that just the leader? Isn't that just what he looks like? Like
Dude,
at
I
the
said,
execution. Like
yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw him, I was just like, wait a second. So I was just like, oh yeah, because like I'm an idiot. I'm just like, wait, is it just gonna be like his brother and he's just gonna be revealed to be Danny? Because there's no way they're just gonna reveal the obvious, like,
Yeah.
he's the leader. So then he ended up being the leader.
Because you like the first time I saw the leader, I was like, this guy, his eyes, that is the eyes of an evil man. Like he's
Yeah.
clearly evil. Like there's no shot he's not. He's good. He's good. And then I saw Ganabelt, and I was like, oh, like really? And then boom, I was like, oh my god. Like I wasn't sure. I wasn't like, oh, 100%. But I was like, there's no way the leader is good. Like there's no way. He's not good. He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But speaking of Law, though, like I loved like Law's whole thing there, like where he betrays his father, literally gets him killed essentially, and then has to deal with that for the rest of the game. It's
yep.
amazing. It's
Yep.
phenomenal. It's really really good.
Yeah, and not only that, I think the execution might be one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah,
The
yeah, it's
only
a great.
thing that I wish differently is they had they animated that because they animated a lot of other scenes or they animated like other scenes and I think that like you don't have to do it for every single act, but you should do it here because it's so
Yeah.
important.
It really it's like the kicking off point for I think Alphen as a character, Law as a character. Like it's really really important. I agree. Um, so I agree.
Like maybe not like him being on the execution thing, but him being stabbed by
Yeah.
Ganabel, I think was important enough to do that. Um,
Yep.
not only like, and I think it's just like one of the best scenes in the game, and I think that like
Yeah.
his speech is one of the best dialogues in the game
Yeah. Yeah.
because he's like, "Don't
Wholeheartedly.
be like me. Don't throw away things. Don't do this." And like, man,
Powerful.
I just love video games
Same.
and anime.
I love stories. I love stories like
Me
this. Like I
too.
love
When a
because you know what?
story's
Like that's
just
another.
told good, you know?
It's like this is a Tales of game that was whose main focus, main themes are about fucking racism and oppression. Like holy shit! Like
Yeah.
that's like that's not something you see very often because that's real. Like it's not like some existential like thing or like some kind of philosophical type story or something. This is just like this is real. Like
Yeah.
real people have to deal with this. Like sure, this is like obviously fantastical, but like the ideas are they're real, and I think that's and they do it. The story does it with such maturity. It honestly impressed me at times. I was really happy with the way they handled it because there's a million ways to mess this up,
Yeah.
millions of ways, but
Like
they got the way. They did it.
yeah. Like I'm taking an African American history class right now and we're learning how like the effects of slavery are also the effects of are still being affected today. And not only just like today, but like how like the span of like 100 years until like the civil rights movement happened, how like they were still trying to basically do slavery.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy. The amount.
so bad.
Yeah, so I'm in a film class where, and right now we're on like a unit where we're talking about like civil rights movement and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it is crazy. So your freedom fighter, freedom writers and stuff. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
some crazy stuff. Uh,
Um it's just like so it's so bizarre because like white southern women, these were white southern women that I'm like cuz that like we're learning about. They tried to romanticize slavery. And it's just so sickening. Like how do you do that? This was someone who was taken out of their own home and like just put to like and then just made into a slave, and like hundreds of years happened with that.
yeah,
And you romanticize it. It's
yeah,
sick.
it's really easy to do shit like that when you don't see that other group as your equal. It's really, really easy. And it's like the same as if you took a dog out of a bad environment and you're like, oh, I'm taking care of him now, even though that's not what they were doing. But in their mind, that's what they were doing. Like, oh yeah, so like
It's
we helped them.
sick.
Like that's disgusting. Like, dude, it's bad. It,
It's so
but
disgusting.
like that's how you get that when you don't even see your fellow humans as fucking humans. That's your equal. That's
Yeah.
just what happens.
I think we said all we could on Cislodia.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go to
Next is
Elmencia.
yeah, Menencia. Yeah,
I honestly think Edelman is one of the most breathtaking places in the entire game.
yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I love the story there. We did kind of talk about it already, like the theme of that area.
Yeah, just
Um,
being
I,
ignorant, like
yeah,
like the ignorance of it. I think
yeah,
that
the
like I think what made it really good is Miguel, like when he eats the thing.
yeah, and just like dies, literally, just dies.
And in that moment, like you hear Kisara like shrieking, and you get that characterization of Dolhalim.
Yeah, like that is a fucking powerful scene. Like
And
after
that
you
scene
beat
should have been
Dohalim,
animated.
yeah, like dude, after
All
you
of
beat
that.
Dohalim, and like Chitara is just so fucking upset at Dohalim. It's so good. It's so good.
And she's
I love.
not
I love.
upset because like he tried to do all of that. He's upset because of what he admits. And
Yeah,
like the fact that like he says like I only did this because I just didn't want any problems or anyone to scream is
it's
insane. And like she's just like my brother died for nothing. It's
yeah,
that's insane.
and like it's it's because what's great about it too is that like it's so like on the surface it seems like, oh, but like what's the problem, like he still did a good thing, and to an extent that is true, but
It's
it's
why you
also
do those certain things.
right. I still do think that it's important as to why you do these. What if it's a completely selfish thing? Like you can be both praised for doing a good thing and also, you know, what's the word? Be criticized for doing it for a bad reason. Like you can have both, and like I
You
think that's something that's just good. Like yeah, like that's true, even in real life.
I
So
think
I like that.
yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
I think that out like I think, and you could disagree with me, but I feel like a lot of good acts, like even if like the least it's not like selfish, every single act is in a term selfish.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
because like let's just say for example, you give your friend a gift, right? It's not selfish in the fact that like, oh, I'm doing this because he'll think like he'll think I'm a better friend than all of your friends. It's selfish in a way where like it makes you feel good still.
Right.
Like
Like
it's not doing something for your own punishment.
right. No, because I agree that I don't think that people are inherently, well, people aren't selfless in that way. Like we all, even if it's like charity, or like yeah, like you do something your friend, right? Like you do it because it'll make them happy, but it'll also make you happy. Like you know that if I know that if I give you this gift, that you'll be happy, and then that will make me happy.
Yeah.
So in a way, it is selfish because if it didn't make me happy at all to do that, likely I wouldn't do it because that's usually how humans work. That's just how the human mind works.
Yeah,
Is
there are
that
people that won't give won't give gifts sometimes
yeah?
themselves.
Because that's just how the human mind works. Is that we look at it, and it's not necessarily a bad thing that we look at it like that. It's just like oh, because like I don't know, because like the people I think it's like the best people, like the people who we consider selfless, are essentially the people who get that satisfaction from doing things for other people, and that makes them feel good. Like they feel good from doing things for other people. That's what
Yeah.
a selfish person really is. It's
Yeah.
not that they don't have any sense of selfishness. It's that selfishness is completely like good in nature.
Yeah.
Like it's simply because doing that thing will make them happy because and that's a good thing. Like right, if you're just doing it to avoid like let's say like I'm doing this charity because it'll make me feel good, but because someone else told me that like oh it'll make you feel good, you should do it. So I'm like, oh I'm gonna do it because it'll make me feel good. That's not as good, right? Because it's not out of my own want. It's because
Or
someone told me that, and I'm just doing it because like oh that's my
yeah.
goal and that's it, right? So it's like the intention is slightly different, and I think that is important to a degree. So yeah,
So like rich people. This isn't all rich people. But what rich people will do is they'll donate to charity, but they write it off on their
yeah,
taxes.
exactly. It's a tax write-off. Literally, it's a tax write-off. Yeah,
And like not
it's,
only
they all
that,
do
but
that.
yeah, they
They
all
all
do.
do that. They all do.
And not only that, but like there are also people that will like I feel like there are definitely people that will do things for their own people will do things for their own benefit. Or like they do this because it benefits them over benefits somebody else. Or
Yeah.
over the reason of it helping somebody else, it's basically also helping them like I don't know how to put it.
I don't know. Yeah, because I think the way I see it is that I think you're closer to being selfish if the two are aligned. Like if
Yeah.
how much it'll help the other person and then you. Like if they have to be like the same for you, you're probably not all that selfless, right? Like I'm not saying that that's not condemning people, but like that's probably what it's like. Whereas if all you really care about is helping other people and like as long as it helps someone a certain amount and it's only you a little bit, you're okay with that.
Yeah.
And there's something as such thing as being too selfless. That is a thing where it's too skewed, where you only care about this and you don't care about yourself. That's a problem too. But yeah. So that's but like that's kind of like where it is. Like if they're too close, that likely means you're closer to being. You're probably more. And if it's the other way, you're selfish. If it's more important than it if it helps you than it is the other.
Yeah. Um
Yeah. Anyway,
I
back to
think
the rock.
that back to Tales of Arise. I
I
think
mean,
that what's
yeah, okay.
yeah. Uh
Yeah.
so Edelmancia, I think, does a really good job of showing that there are good Renins, but there are also bad like but those are gonna be judged by bad Renins.
Right.
So
I do think that what they do there is that they introduce that sense of grayness that wasn't
yeah,
there yet, and then it's further expanded upon in the next town.
I agree. And I think that like not only that, but because like it's explained that like a lot of those Renins are completely fine with Danins in Elemencia, but there
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like
There
there
were
were
some that
also more, but there were also those that like hated like what was going on in Elemencia,
were right.
and
Yeah, that's another thing. It also gives you. It actually shows you for the first time in the game that like there is hope. Like this is possible. Renin and Donin coexistence is possible.
Yeah.
which is huge, which is huge for the main story. And I think if Venetia didn't exist, the characters themselves wouldn't believe that that's even possible, like they do at the end. It's because of that city, so that town.
Yep.
It's really, really that realm.
And having people join you from that city is only to your benefit to like
Yeah,
or like is only to their
yeah.
benefit to like see it.
Okay.
Uh, then we get Matt Mahagsar.
Yeah,
Um,
down for a second. I need you to tell me something. I'm gonna turn the fan on, and tell me if it picks up on the. I don't think it would, right? But
okay,
just in case, tell me if it does.
just go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You're good.
I do hear it.
You're good.
Okay. Nice. That was
So
hot.
so
Okay.
Edel. So now we're on Mag Sahar or
Yeah.
Mag Hasar,
Whatever.
and
Yeah.
they won. Like they already won when you get there, and it
Yeah.
shows that the person
It's
that
really
won is nothing like Zephyr. He's like the exact opposite.
right. It shows that the kind of like uh I guess yeah, like the kind of oppression that Donan or Renans do, Donans are just as capable
Yeah.
of doing that.
And like we talked about it, like their hate drowns them, and like somehow they were supplied with the fruit of Helgen, which we didn't talk about, but like it's what basically kills Migal. And because like that energy like makes people or makes Danans into nothingness.
Yeah. That shit was crazy.
It's crazy, and it
Like holy
happens. Yeah, and like it happens there because like their drinks all had it, and they were just drinking it,
yeah, the
and
whole time they didn't know. It's,
the
yeah.
person that was making it was the girl, and like this was her plan all along to just like to get like all of this stuff for the crown contest, and did it
You
in
know,
such a ruthless way. And she's evil. Like she is the definition of evil. Like there was nothing. Cause like with Volron, right? Like there were all of these things that made him into that.
yeah,
She doesn't
he has
have.
nothing.
She
No,
has nothing. She
bad
legitimately
person.
was raised by a lord, killed that lord because she wanted that power, and then became and stayed evil.
Like the only bit of like kind of humanization they give her is like when you're on Lenegis and like you're talking to like the people from their house, and then the person's like, "Oh yeah, like grew up in like a place where it's like women were like kind of like subclass kind of to men,
Yeah.
and that's why she did that and stuff." So I'm like, okay, that's like that is something, but she's also a really bad person.
But the ways that she did it, and like she became evil because every single villain, like every single like at least great villain has that thing that triggers it, because
Yeah, yeah, I
no
agree.
one's
I
born evil.
right, and I like that when you do go have that scene with all of the other, the houses and shit. They don't like make it so it's like, oh well, we could be like we could find it for you. No, they're like fuck those guys. I understand though. I understand that they were people, but still fuck them. And I'm like, I like that. I'm like, thank you. I'm glad that we're not, like this.
Yeah.
A lesser story would have been like, actually, you know what? We could forgive them. We're like, no, fuck them. They're evil. They're not good. We
I don't know
shouldn't. We
why
don't
that
need to be
made
done.
me. I don't know why that made me think of this, but do you remember in DBZA at the end of the Saiyan arc when Goku's just like, as long as he's sorry, and he'll be forgiven and leave. And he's just like, I'm sorry, I'm so terribly sorry, like being sarcastic, and
Yep,
he
yep, yep,
just
yep.
leaves, and it's just so funny. Um, I don't know, and then not only that, but like I think that like what we said, this just draws that gray line, and I think it's just like great to see this. And
Yeah.
I could be wrong here,
Hmm?
I feel like this is actually the first time we saw, or at least I'm kind of remember seeing it, the Red Woman.
Uh, I,
I could be
that
wrong, but like, do you remember like when she's sitting
yeah,
on that throne and she's next to someone?
yeah.
I think that was
Was
the
it the first
Red
one?
Woman, or at least the Red Woman in disguise.
Yeah, no, because I think she's there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
because
remember
they
seeing her with
mentioned
Balthazar.
that they're supposed
Yeah,
they like they mentioned like at least like at least the Dan and party members mentioned, oh yeah, that person was there.
yeah, because I think she was supposed to be there at all of them. I don't remember if she's actually there,
I don't
but
remember
I think
seeing
yeah,
all of them, but
story
I
wise, she's supposed.
remember that specific scene where she's next to someone.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I do
And
remember it. Yeah, I just I'm like, was she there in Sicily and the other place in Paglia? I don't
I
know.
think I remember in Calaglia when he's talking to Ganabel.
Yeah.
And then like so in
Like,
that part, and then I don't remember Cislodia. Maybe when he's giving the
oh,
execution stuff.
maybe I don't remember honestly, but
But
yeah.
but that one I don't remember. But like we'll get into the Red Woman. But in this part, like I think it might have been Elmencio or Cislodia where we first see him, but we see Volrun at the beginning and at the end of this arc
Yep.
for the first
Uh,
time, and you find out that like he's obsessed with Alphen having this sovereign thing, which or his like some power of his that isn't the sovereign thing yet, but or isn't
yeah, we
sensitive
know that
yet.
it is. Yeah, it's fine.
But
We know what it is.
do we want to wait to talk about Volron until the end, or do we want to talk about it now?
We could talk about it at the end
Yeah, we
because he
probably
does show up
should,
at the end,
right?
right? Yeah, because his thing ends at the end. So
Yeah. And then
yeah,
like the scene of him taking Shion, and then like Alphen's mask finally comes off. Like it was partially off during Volrun, or no, not Volrun.
well, it's been partially
Balsef.
since yeah, it's
Like
been
it
off.
comes
Since
off
now,
like
yeah.
after Balsef, and he learns his name is
Yep,
Alphen.
yep,
He goes
yep,
by Iron Mask before then, and then
yeah.
we get all of it off at the end of this, because I guess he has to fully use his power, and like at first, and he feels pain, and it's just like that scene's just so big because Shion also starts to like drown in her own sorrows at that point because
Yeah,
she's just
because
like,
literally right before this, she was finally like, you know what? Like, I can open up to him because I know he can like touch
I
my
can
hand
open
and it's
up to
fine.
them other
I'm
than
good.
telling them that
Well,
I
no,
want to die.
specifically, like she knew that, like, because it's at that moment where she was like, I have Alphen essentially, like at least I have someone. But then as soon as that happens, as soon as she realizes that, of course, the story, like as any good story would, takes it right away, and it's like because it hurts
Uh-huh.
even more. So then you're like, oh well, actually, and then that's what caused her to like be fucking depressed because it's like right as she finally was willing to accept that, it's taken away. So
And
it's
then
great. So good.
and then because of plot convenience, not to like knock the story or whatever, Volrand sends everybody into like a whirlpool, and they end up on Pelagian anyways, or Ganeth Karos.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's Ganeth
yeah.
Haros.
They end up in his realm. Yeah.
They end
Well,
up
I
in
think
his
that
realm, which is
he
very
obviously did that on
convenient.
purpose. Well, he
Yeah,
did that on purpose. Remember, he said, "Come find me." So
yeah.
he wanted him to show up.
And like
Like,
Alphen, like yeah, and Alphen regains his memories, and we see like what happened because he got his
you
mask
know,
off, and
bro. You know
he
what? I just remembered
God,
in that scene. I wish they showed him like killing all those people because like they keep saying it was horrific and stuff. I'm like, I would have loved to have seen it because the only thing we get is destroyed Lennigus and blood on his
I
hands. And I'm
don't
like, it
know
would
if
have
we
been
should have
cool to
seen
see
it
more.
right at that point, Where I
Well,
would
at
have shown
some
it,
point, I think at that point would have been fine. Though. I think that would have been the perfect time because
where
you see, like, because that's what he just saw, all of him doing all that shit. So
where
we could have saw it with him.
where I would have done it was when everyone saw it, like in between uh when the thing fails on Lenegus, and when we see that, and when like it's weird because I'm like because when like Naori sends him on the ship or whatever, I honestly thought that was gonna be the moment where we see the killings. And I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. Like, if we saw him doing the killings there or during that second part of like the flashbacks, that would have made a lot of sense because everybody has
I
to see it.
I don't know. I don't think everyone has to see it though. I think only Alfred really needs to see it because the whole point of that is for Alfred to come to terms with himself. And so, like, I think when he does that in that town, so it would have made more sense to have it there. And then so that he could then we know what he has to overcome to move forward and save Shion. But we know, but we don't know. Like we don't see it. We're just
Yeah.
told it. And I think I think that's a missed opportunity. Like I can imagine it. I imagine, but like it would have been we could show it.
I think the reason they hid it was because of what they say on the ship with whatever his name is, 35. They say that they lost not only, or someone says not only did they lose Renans, they lost Helgonquins. And I think that, and I don't know, the problem is like, you probably have to show that too.
I feel like you could get away with it. Like I'm not asking for like a prolonged like 5 minute scene. Like
Yeah.
just like like a 30 maybe a minute scene, and you just cut them out and just show them only destroying like buildings and some
Yeah.
Donins or some Renans or something, and that's enough. Like just to get it, to show us how he was doing it. Like what was it exactly? That's all. That's all I'm saying. Like I don't need to see every killing. I just need to see like a few. That would have been enough.
That's
But
fair.
because that part kind of annoyed me. I was like, man, they keep talking it up that it was all a horrific thing, but I don't know how horrific it was. I don't know what it's like. You didn't show it to me, so I do wish that they did that.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
We also find out the person that Alphen thought was Shion in his flashbacks was her descendant Naori, who was
Yep.
the first maiden. We find out later in this act that Naori is the new maiden. Or not
Well,
Naori, Shion is the new maiden.
yeah,
Because her
he's the current
descendants
mate.
just become the maiden.
Yeah, because it's just exactly. It's just passed down
My
hereditary.
only thing is how do they have descendants if 300 years, because Alphen is 300 years old.
Yeah, but
How do
all
they
you
have
need is
descendants if the touch thing?
uh
Because it would hurt
yeah,
people,
yeah.
like
That's
fuck.
like the great question. Maybe actually, I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking clue. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that bad back then. I don't know.
Do you think it got progressively?
Yeah.
Oh! I know what happens. I remember. Because they said Shion was experimented on.
Yeah.
So that could have been it.
May
So
maybe. But no,
each of the
but she's
descendants.
a biological like descendant of Naori the way
No, no, no,
Naori
no,
the
no, no,
way.
no, 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 no. To get more of the reaction, because maybe 300 years ago it didn't matter as much.
No,
Because the
I don't know.
clan.
No, no, no. The experiments they weren't like that. They were just like them trying to like figure out what the fuck this was. Like it wasn't them like making it like anything like that. No, 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 no. Because
Mm,
yeah, because he was just saying like, oh yeah, they were trying to like, they were like just testing it, and then so she'd have to see people touch her and then like get so like badly in pain and stuff, and that kind of stuff. But no, 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 it wasn't like they weren't experimenting on like that because like they couldn't touch her. What are they supposed to do?
Maybe it was I guess more reactionary to her because like the plan was going into fruition at that point.
Yeah, because I over time, like through even the main story, she was like losing like control over like the thorns and stuff. So it could be that like it's
Like maybe like the crown contest was coming to a close.
yeah, because like no previous descendant has done this. Like they haven't like gone out and tried to do it or whatever. So yeah, that is it though because like wasn't it like because she needed
Cause
like the
she
whole reason she did this because she needed a specific set of like parameters or that needed to be set, including like the stuff with like the Alma whatever and all
she
that
needed the
stuff. So
Renis
and that's only
Alma.
now. Yeah. So and that shit was only possible right now. And, so maybe that's what it is. I feel like it's not really that important, but yeah, probably something like that. Probably
They
something like
could
that.
have explained it a bit.
I think they probably could have. I don't really think it's super important though. Like, so it's fine.
Um,
But
yeah. So Alfin will end up gaining more courage because he loses his sense of self, and his friends cheer him up. So the power of friendship.
hell yeah,
Hell
that's
fucking yeah.
listen. That's what we do in TRPG. This is what it's all about.
It's
This is
true.
what I signed up for. This is what I paid $50 for.
It's true. Nothing will
Yeah,
stop the Fairy Tale Guild.
yeah. That show just takes it to an extreme.
It
They
does.
take it to an extreme. They turn it into like a physical, actual thing. Like that's it's too far.
Look,
That's
look,
too,
look, look, look. If you told me that friendship was a member of the Fairy Tale Guild, I would believe you. Like,
it
there's a
already is.
physical be. No. There's a physical
There's a
being named
person.
Friendship, and was the power and source of all of their friendship.
I wouldn't even.
I
Yeah,
would
honestly,
believe you.
honestly.
So,
Anyway,
so then we get to Polesian where we see these people just start going into canals,
yeah,
and
that
then
those
an
boats are
empty
so
boat
fucked.
coming out.
That's so fucked. And then you get fucking absorbed. Like, dude, that was so messed up. I was like, holy shit, man. You can't win here. Dude, hell's
Like the
every.
thing is like they were saved the pain of like going through all of that, whereas
That's true, but the state in which they were left in is not even like.
it was bad.
It's so bad
But
because at
like
least everyone else could think for themselves. Like that's basic human. Like there's like treating people like animals, but it's like just turning them into one. Like
yeah,
it's insane. If anything, not even they didn't even just to animals. But fuck, that was messed
and
up
then
for sure.
basically yeah, and then we get to Volron.
Yo,
Um, and
beat him
then
up.
we get our first part. We beat him
Why?
up twice because your first part you get his regular water lord form.
Yeah,
The second part
he's
is
a
you find
sovereign
out
form.
you're the sovereign and that he's
Well,
the
yeah.
sovereign and that you fight and then you end up stabbing him. Oh yeah, he ends up stabbing the girl in the first part. I feel like that's important to say that he stabs her because it is cool. It is a cool scene where she's just like, "Oh my god, my lord, thank God you're gonna help me," and then he's just like, "Stab." Cause I think what it was is I think he seems like he's a bit older than Alphen and Shion.
Yeah, he definitely looks older.
I think what it is like he because they finally had another person in control of being a sovereign. Shion's thorns and maiden powers started acting up because because like the plan was becoming more into fruition, like what you were saying was like the plan was like getting further along.
Yeah.
So maybe the thorns were acting up more there. So maybe that's what it is. And anyways, we finally get the Renis Alma, and then all of a sudden, part two happens. The Red Woman appears from
Yep.
out of
The,
nowhere, and Alfin
the,
tries to destroy the Renis Alma because he's like, "Stop hurting everyone."
the OP, the second OP,
Yup, the
amazing.
second OP. By
I
the
love the
way,
second
let's
OP.
let's just go with this. I'm not a fan of the first OP.
I think the
And
first OP is alright.
the second OP is way better.
I think it's I agree. It's also it has such a classic Tales of feel too, which I
Yeah.
really like. Because when you look at like the first like the early like Tales of games, this is the kind of music they use for the opening, like these slow love songs. I was like, hell yeah, this feels like Tales of right here.
Um.
That was really
Yeah.
cool.
Then we skip a month, and
You know,
Alphen and Shion's relationship is kind of not as good because
it
she's
hasn't
kind of
really progressed. Yeah,
it regresses because
or it
she
doesn't
kind of
regress. I said it didn't progress much. It didn't regress. I just said it didn't progress that much.
but like she tries to distance herself again from everyone
Yup.
because she thinks, okay, the only way that this is going to happen is I don't want everybody else to
I
die,
died.
so I have to
Died.
die.
Exactly. That's
And
such a good scene, dude. Because I'll be honest, nothing super interesting happens at this part. We just do some quests, kill some monsters, and then we go find the ship. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
And then we have like they're in Pelagian for a month, and they're like kind of trying to help them like get back to normal. And then all of a sudden the wedge comes out of
All right. The way.
nowhere.
Yeah, that's where I was when I. uh,
It's it's
gee.
okay. It's okay, Neil. Some of us are just meant to spoil things for our friends. It's
No,
fine.
no, it's
Neil, I'm
not fine.
telling you right now, none of those words meant anything to me at
I know,
that
but
point.
yeah. But
And
when you got there,
not only that, like I didn't know what the wedge was until I saw the wedge, so it didn't
for
actually matter. So it was
real.
okay. It's not as bad as you telling Brandon about Gaius having his power, like being a church guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot I did that. Yeah, that was
That's a whole nother that was so funny.
yeah.
So
But
anyways,
anyway,
we so you gotta find a way to like get to the wedge. So you deal with that, and you get to the wedge, and you start to hear Dana's will, which is save me, forehead, or stop this, forehead, and Rinwell is like crying and shit, and like everybody else is crying and shit.
you know,
And Rinwell is just like, we need to save Dana, so let's find a way to them. We gotta find a way to
let me
you
guess.
know do to Lenegus, and funnily enough, Calaglia must have a Alphen ship, and they find it.
Yo,
And this is where Shion goes to want to escape, and
it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole game. It's such a good scene.
she's just like, shut up, just let me leave. And she tells them that she wants to just die because she's sick of having her power. She's just so lonely. And Alphen is just like, I don't care about the pain, and I'm gonna hug you, forehead.
Oh, that was so good, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's one thing when he has pain, he can feel all the pain, but he does it anyway, no hesitation. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
Alfred. This is why Alfred is the best. That was so good. I was
And
like,
now
oh,
and now he's just like, I'm gonna save you, forehead, and we're all gonna save you. And they then go to the moon.
millennials.
We're gonna call it the
Yep.
moon. And they get there, and we find out more of Dolameen stuff, because with like the person that like he had to kill because they were trying to kill him,
Yeah. So we get the rest of his like we deal with his arc and stuff.
because she's just like, oh my god, my lover was like gonna be the next ruler, and it's like, bitch, Dolameen was powerful as fuck. There was no
Well,
way that guy was
that's
gonna
not the
be the one.
point. The point is that he fucking murdered him. I
It's
mean,
true, he did murder him, and
that's the
he
point. But the
and
point
like
wasn't that. Yeah.
and Dolameen like tries to like ignore everything, but like at the end of the day,
He,
he kind of can't.
he doesn't really try to ignore it. It's that he thinks that if he just like let like rather than like tell her what actually happened, this relates back to Menancy and stuff that like it's just better if she puts all her hate on him and then that's it. Like I
Yeah.
don't have to. Then we can just do this, and it's fine. And it's like, no, that's not fine. She needs to know the truth. She should know the truth, and so then she does. But
Yeah.
so that's yeah, that was his thing. Is that
And
he thought,
and then we find out that yeah, and then we see like all of Alphen's past, other than
yeah,
the fact that he
yep.
kills everyone.
And like all the stuff with like Niobe and stuff, and
Yeah.
then
And we
you
find out
find
that she's just like, take away the we need to save this power forehead or something like that. I don't remember what she exactly says.
and then they get new outfits,
What?
and then we get new outfits.
All right. Long hair or short hair?
Long hair every time. I mean, she still has her long hair. She just has it tied up, but long hair every time. The ponytail. I mean, like I literally after
The
the story ended,
ponytail's
I'm like,
so clean. I'm just like,
it's so good. I'm like, I beat the story. Put the ponytail back on. This is where it's how it's supposed to be.
even like at the ending pictures, they have the ponytail
Yep. And then
because
like,
it's
oh my god, the
natural.
credits. I'm not. I'll wait for the credits. But oh my god, some of the images at the in the credits, my heart. Oh, beautiful,
Let's
beautiful.
see.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
see. Then we go to a room where it's basically that room
Yep.
that they performed the thing on, except he's basically being controlled, and we Volron is there being
Yeah,
controlled, and
they're using Boron.
we find out he was a Danon himself.
Yup.
So that he wasn't even a Renin, and he did all of that stuff even though he was a slave.
Yup.
And we find out that the red women aren't red women at all. They're Helgon. Well, we find
The
out
original
that.
Reddit, technically. That shit was
Um,
fucking
well,
wild, dude.
we'll find out. But we see they're
That was
actually
so
aliens,
wild.
which
Yeah.
makes a lot more sense than because it's like it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And like you have to fight them, and I would have to say that's one of the hardest fights. Like because you don't know how to like deal with them yet.
Yeah, they're definitely a little tough. Cause
And
like there's a lot, and they have these spinny thingies. It's a bit. It's
yeah.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, once you figure it out, it's not as hard.
Yeah. Well, when they gang up, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, and then we try to go to Rena because I think we see Rena for the first time. Like when we're traveling there, it's a hollow like planet. It's like a
Yeah,
shadow.
yeah. When the beam thing happens, you see behind what like you normally have been
Yep.
seeing, and it's like that's a shock. Right? You're like, oh shit, I thought it was a whole planet. In reality, it's not. It's at all. It's just really,
And
really.
yeah, because like it was trying to like gain energy or something, or well, the energy was only in its core, and so the
Yeah.
planet was like being destroyed because of that. Whereas
You know.
Dana was like a planet of like where it spread out its energy.
Yup. Right. Then we go back onto the ship.
Yeah, and then that's taken by the red women into somewhere else, and
You
we
know,
find like an alien guy.
well, they find us. But yeah,
Yeah, they find an
suck
alien
us in.
guy
You know.
who explains that, oh yeah, we are like the original Renans. We are the Helgonquin.
You
Which
know.
means people of Rena in their language.
Yeah. This is basically where the rest of the lore, is given to you. So
So
like
yeah,
you talk to those scientist dudes and ladies, and they like tell you like the one dude that was talking about like how like the Renans that we know of were created and stuff was crazy. That was crazy.
so we find
Um,
out that the Danans are that the Renans are actually just Danans, which makes a lot of sense because normally when you do aliens differently. I think there's a way to explain why they would look the same like from a different planet, which is basically just like, oh yeah, it's just like Earth.
yeah,
Because
if
like
they
the
have this,
reason we
yeah,
look the way we do is because of that.
yeah, because if you still have the same type of life, you can still evolve in the same way. It's still possible, and
Yeah.
it's not like they're completely the same because technically, like they have arts and then down on stone and stuff. So like it kind of So you could explain it, but this is what
Um,
they.
but they just like explain like this plot twist, which makes
Yeah,
so much sense.
yeah, it is really really cool.
And
Um,
not only that, they say like the planet's dying, and they're just like trying to like do stuff, and you find out that like the planet is Rena is trying to converge with Dana, and they're supposed to be the same planet.
right, because uh, it wants the energy. It wants
And
all
it's
the
like, and
astral.
it's
It
not
took
like,
everything from its own planet already, so
yeah,
now it's like I want more. So
and like, yeah, um, but like at the end of the day, not, but you find out that like the reason it's like being the way it is, like with Shion's thorns, because they're the same thing, is because it's just afraid of dying.
yeah, it's afraid of dying. Yeah, because it's such a big mass of energy that it has consciousness to an extent.
Yeah.
So
And then we go on Rena, and then
final
like we
dungeon
fight
time, baby.
what?
You know, and I was like final dungeon time, baby, and then
Yeah, and then final dungeon time, and then all of the ridiculously hard bosses, all in one place, and then you fight, and then like and then you get the Renaissance back, and then you're about
yeah,
to do the thing,
and
and then
then
you start hearing, and then the music slowly starts to go dun 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 da 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 da. Sephiroth comes out of nowhere and takes the
the
Renaissance, and
fucking Volron shows up, and then you gotta deal with him.
then you got to deal with him, and Shion takes the
She's
energy.
absorbing, yeah, she's absorbing the energy to
uh
try to stop it from, you know,
yeah.
killing everything,
And then you
which is
fight
crazy.
him, and then you're just like, I forgive you, and like we're gonna do this, and like that's what Alphen says, and he's
But
just like,
obviously, Volron just betrays him, and
Voron's
obviously,
just like pussy, and then he explodes himself with the Renaissance.
but then they solve the problem anyway.
And
Uh,
then convenience. Can I be honest with you?
mhm.
Most places I would heavily judge, but my love of wanting Alphen and Shion to just be together, because I'm just like, this fucker, this bootleg Wish version of Sephiroth is gonna
Yeah,
take away their happiness. This one instance, I'm okay with it.
I think that scene works for two reasons. One, that it at least had some level of setup before this. Like this was a possibility that they mentioned, but didn't believe that it was possible. Um, so that's good. It didn't come out of completely nowhere. And the second is that like it feels earned because we literally went through fucking hell. I had to fight this piece. I had to fight the boss. I had to fight the boss two times actually. Then
Yeah, like,
Volron. Now I have all this shit to deal with. So it feels like okay. Like this feels fair. That I had to do all this
if
stuff
it
to get a little
ended,
bit of magic.
yeah, because I feel like if it ended the way that Berseria did, which is like, because they were really writing Velvet in a way that like led you to believe that like she was gonna be like, you know, like she wasn't gonna have some sort of like happy ending. Like
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
just like Shion, pretty much just wanted to get like she wanted her vengeance, but it consumed her.
Like the difference, see, like Shion, it's a little different with Shion because like the whole point of her character, her entire character arc, is literally to know to learn that that is not true.
Yeah,
Like that there is, you don't have to be this anymore. Whereas Velvet is very much, I mean, for most of the game, she's just kind of angry, angsty until the last quarter of the game, where she starts to become nice now. Um, and then she just does. And then she's like, but I'm still going to sacrifice myself because all I want is to be with my brother. And it's like, all right,
yeah,
I guess.
and like they really wrote her like very like that, and it's just like, okay, this ends perfectly
Yeah,
because
like
that's
because it'd be weird if that something like that happened to Shion because the way the writing, like what this message they're trying to tell and stuff, it wouldn't fit. Whereas it works with Berseria because Velvet's a different character.
yeah, and like
Yeah,
Shion like wanted to like live like
you wanted
we never
exactly.
really had that moment with Velvet.
No, I also think Velvet. Okay, I have my opinions on Berseria. We're not gonna go there right now. Um, yeah. So yeah, I agree. I agree.
And so like, and then they do the whole spirit bomb thing because remember when Goku was just like, oh, we need the energy of everyone, and like only a few people gave it, and like no one gave it for Vegeta, and then Mr. Satan was just like, give it, just please do this.
Although that scene did
And
kind of like was kind of weird because it was like it didn't seem like he was asking them for energy. Like he was just taking it. Honestly, it didn't seem like
it
they
is
did it
weird.
intentionally. It just kind of like they just took it. But it felt more like he was asking Donna to help, and Donna was like, "I got you, fam," and then took a bit of energy from everybody. Is what it really feels like.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably more likely, and I think that works better because realistically, there is no shot that they could get everyone to do
Yeah.
that. That's not happening. But they could. Donna would do it because
Yeah.
Donna was like, "Listen, you saved me. All right, I got you." So that's fair.
And then not only that, but like Rena combines with it,
Yeah, and they become one planet, which is really cool.
and then they
That's
become a singular planet full of flowers. That's all we know about it. It's full of
that's
flowers.
it. And then the credits roll.
And then oh no,
Oh,
and then like
right.
you think that like there was this little part of me because I saw the four of them. I was just like, they became the planet. They did it to Alpha and
Maybe
Shion.
the planet.
Because
No.
because at first because you said to me, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read
Okay.
this.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
said wait, is it?
I remember now.
You said
Did I text that?
did you text that?
Was it,
No, you didn't. Never mind. You said, and I quote,
I said it. Yeah.
"You won't get everything that you want in the end, but I think you'll be happy with it." So
See,
I was
I
just like,
said, yeah, I said that to throw you off because I didn't want to tell you.
but 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 I didn't think you were gonna debate me. I was just like, okay, this makes sense
Yeah.
because like, okay, they became the planet, whatever. And then I saw the Renis Alma, and I was just like, oh, they're the Renis Alma now, okay, but they're together, and that makes sense. And then they're together,
No,
and then
we
they're
get the
there.
biggest W they could have possibly given us. They give us everything at the end.
They
Like let's
kiss.
no, okay, they do, which is thank you. But then the credits, dude. The
Also,
credit.
Grenwell touches Shion and
Yeah,
hugs
yeah,
her.
yeah. The hugs her, which is really cool. Because there's a skit before that
And
where like
then
I
we
wanna
have the
it's
credits.
great. Yeah. But my god, the credits, dude. The credits. Those are so good.
Yeah.
They're so fucking good. Like oh my god, like they're living together and then they get married at the end. That's fucking amazing. I could not have asked for more. That was it. Thank you. Thank you, game. Thank you, Bandai Namco. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that part was so good. That was so good. They didn't have to do that. They did that for us.
They did that, I feel like, for people that are just like, hey man, I just want a happy ending. And we
You
got
don't understand, bro. It's been so long since the Tales of game ended like this. Like, it was just a pure happy ending. No, can't be together, bullshit. None of that. It's been so long. Literally, like, a decade. Oh, I've
was the
waited.
last
Waited for
time they
so
did
long.
it like Zillia 2.
No, it was not Exilia. It didn't happen in Exilia. Or Exilia 2. You don't get any of that.
So it was
Fucking. No.
Vesperia.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Wow.
Which is like what, 2000, like,
8,
8?
9.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
how
think it
long it's
was
been.
no, I think it was 10 because they did a
Was it
definitive
10?
edition for the 10th anniversary.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So I think it was 10.
See.
I'm good with it. It has been
No, it was 2008.
2008. Okay,
Yep, 2008.
I'm
Because,
really happy they did that
yeah, I needed this. I was like,
because
thank
because
you
I
so much.
because I think like the ending of the story just didn't make sense with it being a not happy ending.
Yeah, I mean it did. Like I think it was pretty obvious to a certain point where it's like, yeah, okay, like it's gonna be happy ending because
Yeah.
the this the no, despite it being very kind of like sad, depressing, like it's still a very like hopeful game, very hopeful story.
Also,
Kind of,
we got the wedding.
yeah, I know, man. That was icing on the cake. That was it. I was like, that's it. Game of the year. That's it. Done. It's over. That's it.
I now believe that we are now back at the healthy balance. We're now
Um,
at this healthy balance. We're good.
um,
Of like the darker side of
oh,
it and like the lighter side of it.
yeah, yeah. I think this was really solid. I like this way more than Berseria. Way, way more. Despite Berseria still being one of my favorite games in the series, I don't love Berseria. I love this game though. This game was fantastic.
Just out of
Oh,
curiosity, what were you gonna say about Velvet?
oh, I don't think Velvet's a very good character overall. I don't think she's
Oh,
very good at all.
Neil.
Huh? What?
All right, so it cut off again. We stopped at the Velvet thing. So explain Velvet. Say what you're gonna say about Velvet.
Uh,
I cut you off and like it literally um I cut you off and then like the sound was fine. Just say what you were saying about Velvet.
oh, okay. I think um right. So I don't think Velvet's a particularly great character. I mean, I also don't love Berserk's story in general. Um,
I
or its
agree.
cast for that matter. But
I also agree.
like it's not a bad cast or a bad story, but it's just not like it's not great.
I
Um,
like I like Magilu and I like Eleanor and then I kind of don't like anyone else.
Honestly, I don't even like them that much. Like they're fine. Mug is probably my favorite out of the bunch, but it's not like I don't like her that much.
Yeah.
Like I think Velvet, her character arc isn't interesting. All of it really happens at the end, and that's just not interesting to me. Like it has to
I
happen bit by bit over time, and it doesn't
It's
really.
so
Like yeah,
true, yeah.
there are like these like tiny moments where it's like, oh, she's being kind of nice, but like not really. Like it's not anything. Like it's not anything substantial until the end,
I
and I think this
completely
doesn't do
agree.
it. Like Shion is basically a better way of doing that, where
Yep.
it is very clear through multiple scenes that she's changing, and that's just and like you don't have to make it like a big thing. It just happens slowly in the background, and it works really really well. But it doesn't work the same
And I
in
think
Berserk.
it just leads to this moment where like it almost makes sense that Velvet goes crazy at the end, like crazy towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like because
Another
of everything that happened because remember when she's like maniacally like laughing and like that thing? Like it
vaguely, yeah.
almost
It's been
makes
a while.
sense that that happens because like they weren't telling because like the thing about Shion is she had
What about
that
Shion?
back
Oh,
support,
yeah.
whereas in Berseria they weren't a team. They were just a group of people that were kind of just
Like,
doing a
yeah.
goal, and it wasn't like I don't know like that. That's kind of why I like Vesperia more than Berseria because to me I'm not like particular about the gameplay as much. To me what matters more is like especially in a JRPG is like a story and whatnot, and I just think
Yeah.
the game like lacks a bit, for a better term, to be darker, to have some better gameplay, to kind of dip your water into something.
Yeah, and another thing too is that like I think the dark factor of like Berseria or honestly stories in general so overstated and so overblown. Like think oh it's dark so it's good or it's better because it's dark. And I think that's ridiculous.
And I think
Um
some people probably like that thing better, but the game
yeah, but
is
like
just okay.
it's just dark for the sake of being dark. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
have like its themes, its plot could don't they're not relying on this. Like, there's no interesting topic here. It's just bad thing happened, and now we get revenge, and that is it. And like for me, revenge plots can work, but they need an incredibly strong cast, an incredibly strong main protagonist to work well.
I
And
think
I
a
don't think the
revenge
Berseria has that.
I think a revenge plot works. I think that like the thing is like with a lot of revenge plot, like a good thing to do is like for a character to learn over time, maybe vengeance isn't the best thing to
Yeah,
do.
it's like
And
okay, like
what?
I don't think that that's necessarily true because then it's like revenge plots can only be one plot, and I think like you don't have to do that and still tell a revenge story. It's just that there has to be more than the character just wanting to get revenge, and then eventually either because
But
like it could be a
Velvet's
story
character.
about yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was gonna say like it could be a story where it's like a character who gets their revenge, and then the bulk of the story could really be about them dealing with the emotional baggage of doing it, and it really didn't do anything for them. That could be something, or like it could be so many other things. It doesn't have to just be that like oh I revenge isn't good or something. That's
Yeah.
boring. If anything, that's been done 1,000 times. So it's like it's just that what's required for that is a very very strong character to carry it. And if you can't do that, make it a side character so that you don't need, so it doesn't need to be the main plot. But Velvet is the main character, and she isn't that interesting. She's just
She
kind of a
isn't.
dick. She's just kind of just mean all the time and
She
like
is.
angry until she very suddenly isn't. And it's just I'm sorry, but that's not compelling character writing to me. Like you can't at a drop of a hat suddenly. Now I'm not. This crazy thing happens. So now I'm happy or whatever.
Hit the
It's just
nail on the head
it's not.
right there.
No.
That is exactly what I was going to just say. Velvet is so uninteresting.
I don't like. I don't love Velvet. I don't hate Velvet though. Like I don't dislike her. It's really rare I dislike. I even dislike a Halo character. But I just don't like her that much. Like I don't love her. I don't love her, and I think the cast in general is really weak. I don't think it's a strong. They don't have much going on between each other. They barely anything to do it with Velvet, for that matter. Actually, they
The
all just other characters. Which
it's
to be, go ahead, go ahead.
the thing is just like it's kind of like I was saying before they're not a team, they're a group of characters together dealing with a goal.
Right, and what annoys me, so they do have stuff with like outside forces, so not within the party, but like other characters, villains, and stuff, which is fine. But like we could do both. We could have them be a group and have more their growth come from villains. Like we could do both because
Yeah,
usually like the villains are a party villain, not a character villain. But in Berseria, they're like, okay, let's make the villains focused on a specific character, which is I actually like that. That's not a bad idea at all. It's just that they lack the cast lacks as a group, and I think that it's because you spend more time with just that group and not the villains than you do with the villains. So it's like why we should be focusing there. That's why I think that's why the Tales of games do this in the first place. They focus on the cast first and foremost. They have good villains, but the cast is what really makes these games. So
I
I think that's
think yeah, I mean like you don't want to end up like Far Cry and then like really just be like ooh the villains, you know? Like
yeah.
I think like what you can do that, but you have to show more stuff with the villains. And I think what that does would dilute your main cast, which
Right.
is something you don't really do in a JRPG because you're
No.
with your cast the whole time. It works in an anime
Yeah.
because you can show those scenes off, and I think you can do it in a video game. It's just that but the problem with the game is sometimes you just also have to play as some of these people.
That's the
And
thing,
like
right? Is that you're running from. Yeah. 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 Go ahead.
there's a way to do it, like for example, and I think that this is like a bare bones of it. You have a hero side and a villain side where for example you have the Sonic story and the Shadow story in Adventure 2.
Yeah. I mean
And it
that works for
kind
a
of
simple
works but
story.
not really.
It
But
works for very simple stories, but not for complex ones. Like a JRPG could never do that.
yeah.
It just wouldn't work. Because there's not enough time. There's not enough time to
No.
flesh out both sides. And if you're not going to flesh them out, what's the point, right? And it's like I don't think that's even necessary. You don't need to go
And you
that
don't
far.
and you don't have to flesh out the villain, but you can at least make them interesting. I think Berseria doesn't do that.
I think I think it does a fine job of making the villains interesting with like for example, Rokudo has like a great villain for himself. Like, I think it does a fine job with that. But that also has nothing to do with the main plot, like at all. It's just there. And like why are they not tied together? Why aren't these tied? Like it kind of does, but it really doesn't.
Yeah,
Because like it really doesn't. So
I agree
I don't know.
completely.
It
Yeah.
just yeah. I think that's kind of why I wasn't like in love with that game. So I'm so glad that Arias just came in and was like, "I'll fix everything." I'm like, well, thank you. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, yeah, because this review would have been very interesting if we had the opinions of Berseria.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. We've been a lot more complaining.
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay, but back to Arias real quick.
But we
Okay,
love,
the ship.
but I love complaining.
Yeah,
Let's
same,
talk
same.
about
But
before we get into shifts. Let's talk about music. How do you feel about the
oh,
music in this game?
I thought the music was fantastic. Honestly, if I could knock it, if I had to knock it on anything, is that I mean maybe a little bit more variety. It does feel like sometimes they
I
do reuse
agree.
some songs, but honestly, other than that, it's phenomenal. It's a
So
great music. One of my favorites, honestly.
I have a good idea.
Hmm.
I think maybe every place had a different battle theme. I think that would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Um,
Or like I don't know, like I do think that like some like scenes and some places they just use the same music again sometimes,
True.
and it's like sometimes a little like a little. It's not like bad. I don't think it's. I didn't notice it too much, but yeah, the music is great. It was really really
The
good.
music,
I
yeah,
love
I wholeheartedly agree. Music is
it.
great, just
One
sometimes
of
it's
the
just
strongest.
overplayed.
Yeah, I think it's one of the strongest OSTs in the series. Honestly, really
I
really
agree.
great. Um,
Let's talk
really
about
this.
before we get into ships. Let's talk about waifus. Who is
Okay,
your waifu?
of course,
Of course, of
every
course, of
time
course, of course. Let's talk
for
about
me.
ships. I want to go with you first.
Okay, all right. I mean, I just go with what the game gives me, and so Sean Alphin,
Yep.
Law, um, Law Rinwell, and then Johan Lim and Kitara.
So I agree with you on some of
Yeah,
it. So
I'm a, okay. What do you disagree on?
got Alpha and Shion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have Law and Rinwell,
Uh huh.
obviously.
Yes.
Kisara.
Uh huh.
I don't know. I want to do Kisara's last. We'll go with Dolameen. Dolameen, you can make an argument for the girl that
No,
he
but okay.
sees. Be
Uh
and
huh.
the only reason I say this, Kisara has such like an infinity for her brother or whatever that like you almost have to think that like she's never gonna fucking get over it. So it's just like
I don't know. I disagree because like the last scene on like the spaceship or whatever, um, like pretty much shows. Anyway, go ahead. Go do your thing.
no, that was it. No, I agree with you. I think that like there is a moment where like they
It literally
do
sells.
kind of like they
It's
do it, but like it seems as if they're gonna go their separate ways because he's gonna do like it seemed like he was gonna do the Renin thing on Lenegus,
like, yeah, I
and
agree
she
that
was gonna
yeah,
do and she was gonna stay on Earth and not be there. However, we're now in a mixed. Everybody's
mm,
kind of mixed together. Even though is Lenegus a part of that?
no, no, it was only down on Rena. So
However,
let me
the
get
Lenigan people end up coming to
yeah,
the new
yep,
planet
yep,
anyways.
yeah.
I'm sure Dolameen figured that out. I think that like there's a basis for that. However, just something screams she will never get over Miguel.
I disagree. Like, I don't think. I mean, because that's a different thing. Like, romantically, she's very much interested in Dohalim. Like, yeah.
Can I just say I'm happy that we didn't get a thing on the ship where like um oh you got to talk to this person last and they'll be your romantic interest.
Oh, that. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not. We're not playing fucking Persona, Trails of Cold Steel here. We're playing, you know.
I'm just happy we have the
Yeah.
ship
Thank
because not only
God.
that but like Berseria
Yeah,
does
that's
not do a
not.
good job at all at setting any of that up, especially because it's a prequel thing.
Well, it's not trying to set up any like romantic thing or whatever. That's not its goal. So
But
you know,
like and
can't
like
ask for it. It's not trying.
In
Yeah.
Vesperia for example, they don't do it with every character, but it clearly sets up Yuri and
And Elite,
what's
Elite,
her name?
Estelite, right? Yeah.
Estelle.
Well, they
Estelise.
call Estelite, yeah, or Estelle. I think they call her Estelle.
They call her Estelle. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, they do a perfect job at that.
Yeah, they do a good job. Tales of Games, okay, I say usually, but they haven't been doing it, but they do a good job of setting, at the very least, setting up romantic like things and stuff. They're good. They're usually good with it. They're usually good with it. But
I'm assuming that like Zestria and Berseria are the only ones that really aren't.
oh, they just aren't. There's no romantic anything in those games.
Does
Um,
Zilia?
yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. It has romantic stuff in it between characters. Well, really, the main character.
Yeah. Is there anything we haven't gone over before?
I don't think so.
Um. Okay. I guess I got something. What was your favorite place overall? Not like a specific, specific like realm, Rena,
Realm.
Genis. What do you got?
Probably Venetia. Right in the middle. It was nice.
Completely agree with you. Such a good place.
I like it a lot. The,
Um.
my least favorite is Caglia, by the way. I would not want to be that hot all year. I'd rather be in Ciclodia. Fuck that, dude.
I'm telling you right now, Nick would love Calaglia,
He would love that. He would love it.
and I would love
I'd be his
Ciclodia.
like, yeah.
We would not. We would definitely just like not get along there. It would just be like, yep, that's it. So I guess we don't have anything else to say. So
Huh.
overall,
Overall, okay, let's rank. Okay, so is this your favorite? Where does this rank for your Tales of Game?
Berseria, Vesperia, Arise.
Oh, okay, so that's reverse order. So top, it's Arise, Vesperia, and then Berseria is from
Yeah,
one to
no.
three.
So I
Yeah.
go least to greatest. That's how we
Okay.
always go.
Got it. Okay, Lisa. Oh,
Because
okay.
because whenever we do our top tens, we always go least
We
to
always do.
greatest.
That's true. I always do. I always think top to bottom. Yeah. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
you
For
think
me.
about it top to bottom, but you always rate. You always say it bottom to
Yeah.
top.
Like for me, I mean, Tales of Exilia, right, and then like Arise, right, and then like Berseria down,
Okay.
and then like the rest,
Then the rest. Got it.
every.
Um,
So it's like Arise and Exilia are on their own tier, like way far, like way
I
far.
I can't wait to play Exilia. That's why I'm gonna put it
I
last.
it's I love it so much. I love it so much. Honestly, when I first finished this game, I was like, oh, maybe. But after that, then I kind of let it sit, and I'm like, no, Exilia's still, yeah, Exilia's still the best. Exilia's still the best.
Yep.
I love Exilia, dude. Love.
You could test that. You could test that pedal to the metal once you get your PS3 back.
Yeah, yeah. I was considering replaying it, but I'm like, I don't have my PS3. But when I
Maybe I should
do, I'll probably
replay
do
it.
it eventually.
It'd be really funny. Maybe I should replay it. You grab your Zilia copy, and you're about to like put it in, and then you're just like, oh.
Uh oh. No, right now I can't because I gotta play. I gotta finish Hajimani, play New Replicant, play Yakuza Zero. So I got others to do.
By the way, speaking of that progress, because we did make that deal. Going on a tangent, I did finish chapter 1.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Of
Yeah, no
Phoenix
rush.
Child.
I'm not even close to getting to Yakuza Zero anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still not scared.
Um.
Chaos Child,
Oh.
that type of thing. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish that the anime was good so I could just watch it. Uh, but yeah,
Me too.
I play it here and there.
Yeah.
Um, want to do out of 10 or out of 5?
10.
Uh, let's go you
Me. 10.
for Tales of Arise.
Hmm.
Okay.
What about you?
Now I'm gonna feel like a shithead for not saying 10. I'm gonna give it a 9 point. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. That's what I give everything. That's like perfect with nitpicks.
You see, if something's perfect with nitpicks, I give it a 10.
You give it a
Because
10.
if all I can find is nitpicks, then that means it's a very, very, very good game. Because nothing is going to be perfect, right? Like, nothing is not going to have anything wrong with it. I've never played a game that's 100% perfect. So,
I disagree with you. I think that Yakuza Kiwami 2 is perfect. No arguments with it
no
at all.
arguments.
Anyways, I'm kidding. No, I guess you're right. It is a 10. I mean, like, it has gotten me to want to play every other Tales game out there and like actually like rank them myself, because like
Yeah,
before it was just gonna be like Zestria to see what was up with it, and then that was pretty much gonna be it because I wasn't gonna borrow your PS3 beforehand. With this game, I'm just like, now I want to play all of them. I want to see what's up with it.
I have, yeah, I have all the games on the PS3. So if you don't want to buy Symphonia, you could just play all of them on the PS3.
Yeah,
Well, all the ones I've played, anyway. Not all of them, obviously, but
yeah.
yeah, I'm glad. Honestly, like if I hadn't already played them, I would that would be me right now. But
Yeah.
I have played a bunch already, so I don't get to do.
It's like my moment with like it was like I mean like I don't know. There's like a lot of games where it's kind of just like, well, am I doing this like for example, like Kingdom Hearts, right? I played them because I wanted to like like see what was up with it.
Yeah,
Not
just play.
really, not really more or less like because like I enjoyed it. Like I like playing Kingdom Hearts. I hate watching Kingdom Hearts because that story. Oh God.
Oh God.
Anyways, what do you want for what do you want for the next Tales game?
Probably some old style skits.
Old style
Um,
skits.
I wouldn't mind, and this is probably just me, but I wouldn't mind a Tales of game. There's one of two things. Either like was willing to do a sequel game, because I don't know about you, but when I saw the second opening, Tale of Rise, I was like, I'm ready. Like this could be a game. Like I'm ready for this. Like if
Yeah.
you just told me as a sequel game, I would be all for it and just make it longer.
Yeah.
So that or just a longer game in general, I would love to see it because I think maybe if Arise was longer, we could have had more, and there would have been more room to fit in more stuff. Basically,
I
so I would. That's kind of it. Honestly, I
I
want to.
agree. I agree with you. I think like I would just love to see these characters again.
Yeah,
In
I
some
don't mean just for
capacity.
Arise. Yeah, I don't even mean like I want Arise too, but I just mean like the willingness to create stories that are a little bit longer. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I don't mind if they make a 70-hour Tales of game with my play. Like what I'm asking is just be technical but with Tales of. Okay, like just make it long. Like I want that. I would
Um
love
you
that. So
said the skits, we talked about that. I agree with you too. And a longer game,
just
I
like
agree
flesh
with
out more
you.
stuff, I think that would help. Because I do think that they are aiming for a certain amount of length. Like they don't want to go too long, other than like over 40ish hours.
Yeah.
So I think why constrict yourself to that? Just fuck it. Do it. Do another extra 20 hours. Fuck it. I'll
Yeah.
play it.
I think something I want is I want the gameplay to just continue being this. Like for example, like Yakuza, right? I think that like there's a point where like you change like I like to me there's a point like where you change it to like make it feel different, but there's also a point in doing something or just like fine tuning something that's already really good. And I think this is really good and needs that fine tuning.
Well, that's funny you say that because this is them fight because this battle style originated in Zestiria, and then they iterated it on Berseria, and then iterated again in this game.
Yeah.
So this is their third shot at the game at this style.
And I think
Um,
this like really works for it.
yeah. So a cool thing about um, uh, Tales of games. So there's generally speaking two styles. One is a style. It's kind of these games. The last couple are in this line where it's like the AC system, which in this is just the blast system. It's the same thing. Essentially, one of them was a number. Now it's just like diamonds. The same thing. Where like skills cost a certain amount of diamonds or whatever, or AC points. And then there's a different style that was more like Tales of Symphonia, where it has like you have a mana system, and then your arts you can use arts. You can maybe spam arts, but like they cost CP or mana, and then you have to use that. So then you whatever.
Yeah.
So this is so the last few games have been iterating on the Graces slash or really it's the Graces combat system because it originated in Graces.
Yeah.
So yeah, Exilia was kind of in the middle. By the way, it uses the TP system and the AC system. Uh,
That's
I don't know.
interesting.
It's very interesting, and I love that game. Anyway, so but yeah, so the Tales of system they do this, so like I wouldn't worry too much about it. It will be in the same vein, almost certainly, unless they decide to go back to TP and stuff. I doubt it though. I doubt it. I don't think we'll ever see Symphonia style gameplay again, or like even Vesperia style. Like we're not gonna see it. I don't see it
Yeah,
happening.
which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think like story wise, going more akin to those games, gameplay wise, continuing this trend.
I think this style of story was like probably like it was really good because it was a involved deep story, but it was still like that. It still had that Tales of Part. It was still like a fun adventure. Like
I
despite it
agree. I
being
think it's such a
very
good
serious,
healthy it's such a
yeah,
good healthy middle ground and
right. And this is kind of like what I like to see from Tales of Games. This is what I want. Like I don't need super dark grim. I don't need that. I don't even want it honestly. So I like this. Like
yeah.
I don't think all
So
of them have to be like that, but this is a good. I like this type of thing.
yeah.
I'm about it. I'm about it.
Oh, the other thing I want is not a 5 year gap.
Yeah. I think that's a because if you look at historically, usually it's like 2 to 3 years max for a new Tales of game. It's rare they take this long. It's rare.
Yeah. I think 3 years, good. Good amount of length. For
Yeah.
every game, by the way. This isn't just Tales of. I think 3 years for a new game of something is good. I think
Yeah.
that going 3 years for a Pokemon game would be fantastic. I think that 3 years for a new COD would be really good.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, it would benefit it. Why?
Yep.
Because you get to a point where like, and by the way, this doesn't work for every game, but this is for every story single player game, or I guess everything that's not a fighting game. That's what I'm gonna go with. I think a fighting game or a game like Mario Party or something, every generation with DLC, I think works really well.
Yeah. I think fighting games should have much longer lifespan. Like if you're every couple of years getting a new one, I think it's weird.
No. That's weird. But like that's my thought. I think like
I
every console generation with DLC is fantastic for those.
Yeah, like at max two per generation, but only if the second one comes like at least like like at the end or something of the generation.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think 2 to 3 years is like especially 3 years that's like the goal. That's what we should be striving for. But obviously, though, not all games can do that. The scope is
Yeah.
big. It's understandable if they're not all gonna be. But that should be what we're aiming for. the thing is like the only reason this game took so long to come out was because they had to remake the engine and all that stuff.
Well, they
And honestly,
used Unreal Engine 4.
well, yeah, that's what I meant. And they just like made new shaders. Like they did make new stuff, but yeah, they had to get used to using Unreal Engine 4 because up to this point they were using the Xillia engine,
Yeah.
which might have even been. I don't think. Yeah, it started there. And honestly, that engine. Yeah. So it's for the best. So that's why this took so long. And honestly, though, they needed the fucking time because they need to like sit down and take a good hard look at themselves because they could not afford to fuck this up. They needed to get this right. They needed to. Otherwise, the faith in the series was already low, and if they fucked this up, it would have gone even lower, and that would not have been good. They would have
It's
definitely
like,
taken.
is there like, because I haven't read anything about this game or like whatever. I'm assuming that like social media critics and whatnot are all like really into this.
Yeah, pretty much everyone loved it. The game in the first week sold like 1 million copies,
That's good.
which is pretty good for Tales of. So
Um, yeah. One more thing before we end the video, because
yeah.
Jack and I talked about this a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
We were thinking, so I thought about it because we were talking about Pokemon. We we really think, or and maybe he's changed his mind by now, but we were talking about this, but I think what would be really cool for Pokemon is to be in this style of game.
Are you in the same battle system or like Tales of Arise battle system? Is what you're saying? Like action?
Yeah, like Tales of Arise's battle system
I don't know
as
about this.
Pokemon.
I don't know about that. I think everything except the battle system would be good. So like the areas and stuff would. I think that's fine, but not the battle system, dude. I don't know about
Cause,
that. I feel
cause
like it
like
should always be turn based.
so my thought is this is what I would do. And we are eventually gonna talk about this as a
Mm-hmm.
video in general. My thought is if you want the older battle style, I would do it in because we're essentially gonna like Legends Arceus is essentially gonna be creating a new style of like
I mean,
Pokemon.
kind of. Really, it's the same thing, but they just added those fast whip style or whatever the fuck. That's
But it's
not.
not gonna have like gyms or whatnot.
Yeah.
And like even though the camera's so terrible on where it's placed,
Is
the
there?
graphics are terrible. It's it's the best that the battle has actually like
Yeah. I have an actual.
okay.
I have a thing. I think what it should be like,
Yeah.
and I think it should be like Chrono Trigger. I don't know if you've seen gameplay of that game. Um.
Kind of.
Yeah, I think that would actually be perfect. I think
Like the
more games should
Switch.
do that. Well, so the way Chrono Trigger work is yeah. So you have like the on-field attack and stuff. So usually the action is very simplified. It's really like you do your basic attack, and then you do like a stun attack, and then you switch into turn based, and then that's where your hard hitting, your really strong attacks are in. But most mobs you can just clear them by doing staying in the action. It's not really hard. So like what you could essentially do is that the mobs or like in for Pokemon it would be like the grass encounters. You would just like beat them up, and then for like gym battles or something, you would because in Chrono Stick you're locked into turn based for boss battles. You can do something like that or something, and
Mm.
then you know what I mean.
My
So
thing is I want to dodge like in the
yeah,
anime.
but like what's
I
important is that so you know how like so you can actually move your Pokemon. Like even if it's turn based, you can still move your Pokemon like you move like a character in a JRPG,
yeah.
and then like do an attack or whatever. So I think that and then that would be cool. Like giving it a
Yeah.
positioning, basically like giving it Pokemon that positioning aspect is a decent idea because
I
it's still simple, but it's like it has a little bit of complexity.
I agree with you. I think that like again, we are going to talk about this. We have I don't want to do it now because I want the first video of this style of like thing, I guess just to peel back the curtain a bit on video, is I want it to be Smash Bros, which is build your own Smash Ultimate, which is
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
I
your
was
own
telling.
Smash game.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Build your own Smash Ultimate. Like we're gonna have like rules and whatnot. We obviously have to do, but
that sounds fun.
the thing is I want to wait until the DLC is over.
Wait,
However, nothing's ended yet, and so
no,
all of these videos have been
dude.
delayed. We've
Hopefully,
been wanting to do
hopefully
the
soon.
tier list. We've been wanting to
Oh
do
yeah.
we've been wanting to do like
I
the
forgot
other
about that.
stuff. Like
Yeah, yeah.
there's so many video ideas, Neil. You don't understand.
I can't wait
I
for
don't
Smash Bad.
like do I want more characters? Sure. But do I also want content more? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, buddy. Come on. You know what? Wait, should we end the video first, or
Oh wait. Yeah,
we're not even
I guess we
talking
can.
about? Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like. Comment down below what you guys thought about Tales of Arise
yeah. And
and
play Tales of Arise.
play Tales of Arise if you did. Wait, hold
What?
on. I got this. This is no longer the spoiler section. This is
Oh
no
yeah,
longer it. Play Tales of Arise. Play Tales of Arise. Play Tales of Arise.
play
Anyways,
Tales of Arise.
like and sub if you guys have enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.